This week, in Farmington, New Mexico, a series of strange murders, all very brutal but very different from each other, happen over the course of a couple years until a tow truck driver's phone found near a murder scene leads to a serial killer and his two accomplices. Welcome to Small Town Murder. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Small Town Murder.
Yay!
Yay, indeed, Jimmy. Yay, indeed. My name is James Petrogallo. I'm here with my co-host.
I'm Jimmy Wisman.
Thank you, folks, so much for joining us today on another crazy, wild, really awful, just bad edition of Small Town.
This is so funny.
It's a bad story.
I've spent so much time here.
This in Farmington, New Mexico, out for work, right?
Yeah.
For APS, yes, for the electric company. And
don't say that.
Well, that's where you worked for years. Fuck them. Because you're not working for them anymore. Jimmy worked for them for years. Fucking didn't do half his work. They still paid him. It doesn't matter. They can't do a damn thing about it now. So
it's all over.
Eat dicks, APS. Here we are. Doesn't that feel good to be able to do? Put that out on Netflix. Suck a dick,
Holy
APS.
Shit.
That is fantastic. I love it. I'm so happy for you right now. That's great. So we will
Fuck you. Thank you.
Thank you so much for years of gainful employment. So we'll get into all of that and the Farmington and everything about that. Before we do, definitely head over to shutupandgivememurder.com. Get your tickets to live shows, everybody. Also merchandise, everything you could want, from shower curtains to coffee cups to skateboards. In addition to that, get your tickets. September the 18th, Milwaukee at the Pabst. We love the Pabst. Great venue for us and for the audience and for everything. Can't wait to go there. And then September 19th, Minneapolis at the State Theater. Get your tickets right now, Minneapolis. Milwaukee, those seats are going fast. You want to get those tickets pretty soon. Minneapolis, you better start getting some more tickets. Get in there.
You better figure it out.
And then October 3rd, Dallas. October 16th, San Jose. October 17th, Sacramento. November 13th, Terrytown. November 14th, Boston. So get your asses in there and come see us. Shut up and give me murder.com. It's going to be awesome. We can't wait. In addition to that, you definitely want to listen to our other two shows, Crime in Sports, which you don't have to like sports to like, trust me, and also Your Stupid Opinions, because who doesn't like reading terrible reviews of things? It's funny. And making fun of the reviewers. So check those out. Get yourself Patreon, my friends. Patreon.com/crimeinsports, just like the name of that other show you should listen to. That's where you get all the bonus material. Anybody $5 a month or above, you get everything we put out. Including, as soon as you subscribe, you're going to get almost 400 back bonus episodes you've never heard of before. You'll get those. That's like a whole other, whole other feed to binge. And then you get new ones every other week, one Crime and Sports and one Small Town Murder, and you get them all, everybody. And this week, what you're going to get for Crime and Sports, we're going to talk about the Christian Power Team. There were these guys on TV in the 90s that would do what is it called? Feats of strength.
Super feats of strength.
I was calling peaks of strength, but feats of strength, where they would like bend a rebar or rip a phone book or like bench press 500 pounds and then scream, "Thank you, Jesus! Thank you, Jesus!"
You did it. Yeah.
They would do all that. Turns out it was more thank you anabolic steroids. And also there's some scandal that happens. Some tricks. Then for Small Town Murder, it is internet salad time, everybody. We're going to go all over the internet and find everything that we find entertaining to make fun of, except for politics, because we feel like you probably get enough of that everywhere else. So we'll fill in the gaps.
So fun.
In between. It's a lot of fun. Patreon.com/crimeinsports. And you get everything we put out, all the shows, Crime and Sports, Your Stupid Opinions, Small Town Murder, all ad-free with your Patreon.
Ad-free.
Ad-free with your Patreon. And you get a shout out at the end of the show, too. Jimmy will mispronounce your name all sorts of different ways.
Absolutely.
That said, disclaimer time.
Here we go.
Hey, everybody. We're comedians.
Afraid so.
This is a comedy show.
Afraid so.
We're going to make jokes, and there's going to be dead people, because it'd be a really weird show if it was called Small Town Murder and it had no dead people. So that's how it works. And you go, how does that work? That sounds awful. Why would you guys do that? Well, to me, I think it's a little easier way to digest the murder, to get some jokes around it rather than the odd, murder porn way some people go about it. And that's fine if that's what you're into. But I mean, and then her head was removed from her body. And so I'm a little creeped out while scary music plays. No. We try to put a little humor in it. We don't do, though, what we go out of our way not to do is we don't make fun of the victims or the victims' families.
Why is that, James?
Because we're assholes,
But
we're not scumbags. See how that works? It's very easy. It's a very easy thing to do there. So that's all it is. There's plenty of other stuff to make fun of. Small towns, who cares? We're all from somewhere that's worthy of being made fun of. Maybe a police force that lets a murderer go free for years, killing more people. Maybe a murderer we'll make fun of because fuck them. And what recourse do we have other than to make fun of them? We're comedians. We can't go to the jail and get their honey buns taken away. They won't let us get their ramen taken away. All we can do is make fun of them. So if that sounds good to you, you're going to hear a crazy show. If you think true crime and comedy should never, ever go together, we might not be for you, but we might be. So I would check it out. And either way, no complaining later, or you'll end up on your stupid opinions. That said, I think it's time, everybody, to sit back. What do you say here? Let's all clear the lungs, arms to the sky, and let's all shout. Shut up and give me murder. Let's do this, everybody.
Okay.
Let's go on a trip, shall we?
Oh, my.
Here we go. We're going to a place Jimmy is familiar with. By the way, Jimmy hates New Mexico.
I do.
It's his least favorite state. This is Farmington, New Mexico.
Yeah.
That's because
this is one of the reasons I hate it.
You've been
place is
forced to spend
so
time here.
horrible.
That's what I hear from the reviews that we'll get into in a little while.
It is horrible.
It's in northwestern New Mexico, so close to to that northern Arizona
the Four
area.
Corners area.
The Four Corners and all of that. It's about 3 hours to Albuquerque, about 3.5 hours to Santa Fe, and 6 hours to our last New Mexico episode, Hondo, New Mexico, which was episode 517.
Jesus Christ.
This is 701.
Yeah.
It's been a long time.
Yeah.
That was Slaughter at Bloody Ranch, which I believe is the one. That was the ranch I think Sam Donaldson owned. Wasn't that the?
I believe that's true. Yeah.
It was so long ago I can't even remember. So that's pretty crazy. This is in San Juan County, area code 505. Nickname, and I really couldn't figure out why, but it is called Baseball Town, USA.
What?
Not Cooperstown. Not plenty of these other places. Farmington, New Mexico, Baseball Town, USA. Okay.
I have no idea why, because
clue.
Rather get hit out of here?
That makes no sense. Now, a little bit of history of this town. Obviously, it was and still is very much populated by Native Americans through centuries and all that kind of thing. Spanish and American mineral prospecting happened in this area, but there wasn't a lot of permanent settlements because you've been there. It's not a place you look at and go, setting up shop. Can't wait. Lay the foundation, everybody. I know where I'm moving.
Yeah.
There's 3 rivers that come through here, so it was originally known as Junction City.
Yeah.
Junction City, but by 1901...
Emphasis on the junk.
Junction City. By 1901, it was named Farmington and incorporated, and they had 548 people. March 18th, 1950, and we might do a bonus episode on this, Farmington was the site of a mass UFO sighting in which over half the town's population reported seeing large saucers in the sky flying at rapid speeds. This was like 5,000 people said they saw this.
What?
This wasn't 2 drunk guys, in the woods, and they also, were like fucking taking ether and shit. Like this is 5,000 normal people saw it.
Oh my God.
So we're gonna do a bonus.
They saw saucers or light?
They saw saucers, large saucers in the sky flying at rapid speeds.
Was this at daytime? I need to know everything.
Probably nighttime.
Right.
Daytime, I go, what? You could see exactly what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. In 1967, part of a joint U.S. government El Paso electric operation, an underground nuclear detonation occurred 50 miles east of Farmington. And apparently this was the pilot project of Operation Plowshare, codenamed Project Gas Buggy. Jesus.
What the fuck?
Was an attempt to fracture a large volume of underground bedrock to make more natural gas available for extraction by wells. We set off nuclear weapons to try to get more gas out of the ground.
Doesn't that seem like that would ignite the gas?
You know what? I'm not going to get into the science of it because
that seems dangerous.
Seems well above our pay grade, number one.
Yeah.
And number
50
two,
miles, that's not far enough.
that's not far enough. That's what I'm thinking. Maybe that's the problem with this town. Maybe there's some fallout. There's got to be some radiation leaking out. I don't know what's going on.
That would explain a whole lot.
Again, we're not scientists, in case you're wondering. Okay, it's a true crime podcast told by two scientists. Reviews of this town. Let's find out what other people think. We know Jimmy thinks it sucks. Maybe other people like it. Let's find out.
Oh, there's no fucking way somebody likes this place.
It's got 3.5 stars on Niche, which is not great.
That's not good.
And that's like I said, you wouldn't eat Chinese food if it was 3.5 stars. And that's with a lot of reviews, too. Here's 5 stars. I love this town.
Wow.
Love it. Farmington doesn't need any changes, to be honest. Perfect.
They've never stayed in a hotel here.
Perfect. This town is filled with uniqueness and diversity. Everyone here is always nice and greeting.
Okay.
Are they nice?
I don't disagree with that. Everybody there was very nice every time I've gone through.
At least they're friendly. Yeah. That's good. Well, if they're not friendly, no one's ever stopping there again.
But and if you stay in a hotel in Farmington, ask to see it before you pay.
Oh, I bet.
Oh man,
I can't imagine.
I spent my whole per diem on the weekend paying for a room, getting into it and going nope, and going to another one.
I think you're replacing an M with an H also there.
100%.
I think there's a lot of motels here.
There's not a lot of hotels there.
No, I wouldn't think. Here is 1 star. Okay. Farmington is an Indian town with high crime and little to do.
I didn't know there was that, but okay.
Okay. Farmington is one of only 10 metro areas in the southwest U.S. rated as most dangerous places to live in the U.S.
How dare they call that metro?
Metro. I was going to say, what metro
There's
is that?
There's nothing metropolitan about this.
There's not, very metropolitan. I know it's cosmopolitan, but we're still, I will say. It's number 33 out of 50 U.S. metro areas rated most dangerous. Poor school, high crime, horrible local government, just a sad, dirty town. Only good thing I can say about it is people are friendly.
They really are.
I mean, they have to be.
Yeah, and they make a damn fine cup of coffee. I'll say that too.
They're fighting with each other because they're miserable. They're all, and then a visitor comes in. They're like, "Shut up! Shut up! Shut up! Shut up! Hey, y'all, how you doing? Yeah, come on in. Yeah, no, this is Fred, my best friend."
They're not from around here. They don't know that we hate each other.
They had knives out 2 minutes ago, and they're like, "Shut up! Shut up! Here comes a car with out-of-state plates. Everybody, shut the fuck up. They're from Utah. Stop."
They got Arizona plates. Everybody.
1 star. We have it all here. Meth, crack, severe alcoholism, homelessness, and an almost non-existent police force.
They said that.
They said that. The housing is still priced as if the oil field is booming, but hasn't been booming in years. And did I mention that's the only major source of income here? I hope you like working at McDonald's and dealing with belligerent, racist, drunken people all the time just to live in an apartment with 6 other people. That's
strangers.
That's what I mean. Seems like there was no choice. They just got assigned 5 roommates.
Yeah,
6 roommates. I've lived here most of my life, and I've watched it go from bad to worse. It's unfortunate because the landscape is so unique and beautiful. But the ignorant, horrible people who live here make it unbearable. We're also next to towns with some of the highest sexual assault levels in the country. Then all caps in this sentence. Don't ever take your eyes off your children here.
What?
Jesus Christ. Just pedal to the metal if you got kids in the car. And we boast some of the highest DWI, DUI fatalities in the state. Most of the people here have no license and 6+ DUIs. Over 6. Wow. And so you have 6 roommates and 6 DUIs. Sounds like a very balanced thing. Our justice system is a joke, and half the cops won't take down the meth labs. I can't wait to leave this hellhole.
I didn't know there was meth there, but I mean,
the Southwest.
Just when you pull into town, you go, what do you do? I mean, I'd probably have to do drugs to be here.
Yeah. If you see sand, there's meth there. Period.
Yeah.
If you see dirt like that, like Arizona is a giant meth lab, and so is New Mexico, and so
that
is
area,
southern Utah and southern Colorado.
That Four Corners area, you could drive a 20-mile radius circle. It never changes. The landscape is the same.
It's exactly the same. People in this town, 46,696. It's a lot.
That's shocking.
It's gone up a lot since like 2000 too. They've gotten a lot more people.
Yeah.
More women than men, 50.9% women. Median age here is low, 34.7. That usually has something to do with outdoor jobs for the most part. Is what that
dangerous
works like.
shit.
Yeah. Family in this town, it's about 45% married, which is below the national average. Higher more people have single with children also here, but not a lot more. Race of this town, it is 45.5% white, 1.2% black, 0.8% Asian, 24.5% Native American, which is in the rest of the country, it's like 0.7% in the whole United States. So that's a lot. And then 24.9% Hispanic as well.
And you have to drive through native reservations to get here too.
Like everywhere in the
Window
Southwest.
Rock or something. I mean, there's something rock. There's several rocks that you have to go through to get there.
Okay. There's slip rock around here, I know. Shiprock, there you go, because that's in the story. 41.3% of the people here are religious, which is below the national average. They looked around and they're like, there's no God. No God made this.
Fuck this.
Don't blame God for this shit. Never mind.
This place is hell on earth.
And it is like spread around too. There's no dominant religion or anything. Unemployment rate here, a little bit high.
Really?
But the median household income's a little bit low, so that's not great. $56,045 a year is household, and it's $69,000 in the rest of the country. Cost of living, that makes it real important. 100 is regular, par, average. Here it's 80. So
that's not great. I mean, it's helpful, but it's not great.
It's not great. The housing is the low thing here, which I guess that's good.
Sure.
Median home cost here, $216,100. Which is too much, but also cheaper than everywhere else. If we have convinced you with all of our propping up of this place that the only place on earth for you is Farmington, New Mexico, you're in luck, because we have for you the Farmington, New Mexico Real Estate Report. Okay, your average two-bedroom rental here, $1,050.
Okay.
That's lower than the national average, but again, seems high. Here is a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 980 square foot ugly trailer.
Yeah.
It's a trailer, but they have put somehow green wood paneling on the outside. I've never seen a trailer with wood paneling on it, with siding. It's got siding. It's got wood siding on it, and it's green.
I wonder if it's that tongue and groove channel shit.
I don't know. It's not helping either way.
No.
Whatever's cheapest, I would say, is what it is.
Yeah.
Based on the inside, the stove in the place looks like it's in an apartment in 1982.
Nice.
It's horrifying. It is no land, no acreage or anything like that. 980 square feet, $39,999 for that.
And probably lot rent.
Lot fees, too. Yep. This next one is a depressing-looking house on the outside. Inside's not too bad. The outside, it just sits on this lot that is just barren, and it's just ugly, man. It is ugly scenery. 3-bedroom, 3-bath, technically a T-bowl for each and every B-hole. 1,904 square feet, 0.29 acres of dirt and gravel.
You bet.
$200,000 for that.
Wow.
And inside, it could use some updating, but nice wood. It's got really nice hardwood floors throughout that look really nice wood.
Interesting.
Looks decent, which is very strange. And it says it's being sold as is, which is never good. Next up, 3-bedroom, 6-bath. That's a T-bowl for each and every B-hole, and some more for the neighbors. 5,690 square feet.
A 3.6?
Big old house. 3-bedroom, 6-bath. You can tell it's newer because they started doing that. 5 acres of desert. Looks like you get here, but the inside's very nicely done. The kitchen's very large. It's very fancy. It looks like a little resort, is what it looks like. $1,775,000.
Almost $2 million
to live in Farmington.
Farmington, fuck you.
Wow. Well, luckily, if you do spend that kind of money, there are things to do here. So let's find out what those are. Okay, the New Mexico Core Fest.
Core?
Core Fest, like hardcore.
Oh.
Yeah.
Like
metal
Apple
acts,
core.
hardcore acts.
Okay, got it.
Yeah, shit like that. This is I'm going to read you the 2025 lineup here. Oof. It says that it features a lineup of heavy metal and hardcore acts from across the Four Corners region. So these are local people. These are desert hardcore acts. They didn't even bring in anybody from LA or anything.
Local acts to make a festival?
Apparently so. Here are the bands that they had. Elite Alliance, which is an Arizona band, it says.
Yeah.
Blood of Lilith, like Fraser's wife. Yeah, Fraser. Yeah, Lilith Fair. Grave of the Monuments. Okay. Taj, Taj, Taj of One Less. I don't even know what that means.
The fuck? Stop trying to be so fucking interesting.
The next one is so much better. See, they're trying to be all Taj of one less. Like it's the next one, just dry heave. That's so much better. That's so much more descriptive.
Right on the nose.
Dry heave. Cinematica. I like this one. Decapitation of a new day.
What? Gonna cut the new day's head off.
Anticipation of a new day. We'll go decapitation. Inimicus. I don't know. Who knows? Inimicus. One last summer. I guess before you're dead, because all these have death themes.
We're just gonna do this last one. Yeah.
Mirari. Mirari. Like I guess Ferrari, but with
Mirage and a Ferrari
less
together.
with less R's. Broken chains and falling fire will be there also.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right. There's also a Four Corners Metal Festival as well. I don't know what's going on with this area, but it's all metal shit.
Yeah. Native Americans do love metal music, and if Ozfest skipped Albuquerque and came here, I know.
That was very sweet. Native Americans love hardcore metal music. Okay, all of them. What do you do? That's
I realize it sounds awful, but if they skipped Albuquerque for Ozfest, they would come here, and then Ozfest here would be a giant population of Native Americans here. But if they skipped here and went there, I guess they watched it. I don't know. I didn't go to Albuquerque to see it.
There's a few bands here. There's a lot of bands. Yeah. Most of them have names like Class Violence, Obliteration, Million Dead, Hell Throne, metal shit. So there's that. Crime rate in this town, what we are interested in here, property crime is about 1/3 above the national average. So high. And then violent crime, murder, rape, robbery, and of course assault. The Mount Rushmore of crime is about 50% above the national average. So it's high here.
Pretty dangerous.
There's some shit going down. Yeah. That said, let's dive right in. Let's talk about some murder. What do you say here?
Let's go.
Okay. June 7th, 2000. Let's start there.
Oh, fairly recent.
Yeah, 26 years, but but I mean, it's not like black and white times. It's not, the 70s here. We can all picture 2000, I think. Sure. Now it's a Wednesday afternoon or Wednesday morning, mid-morning, 10:30, 11 o'clock.
Sure.
There's an electrical line inspector. Mm-hmm. Jimmy's like, tell me more. He's got the wand. He's doing this whole thing. He's working the rural electrification grid south of Kirtland near Twin Mounds.
Yeah.
Okay. He's driving slowly along a dirt road looking for a particular pole.
Sure.
He notices off the side of the road. This guy is very upset. He's looking for a pole, mind you.
Yeah. Supposed to be looking up, motherfucker.
Yeah. I don't know why you're looking at the ground, at the dirt, but he notices off the road what looks like. Tell me if you'd notice. You've driven an electric truck through areas like this. Would you notice what looks like a trail of blood drops in the dust?
No. And also, I would not follow that.
Don't care what that is. I don't know what animals do to each other, what people do to each other. Not my business.
But in this area,
hey.
You find a blood trail, there's probably a family of coyotes dining on something. You don't want to see it.
You want no part of that shit. No, this guy not only somehow notices blood drops in a dust trail, somehow. Crazy. And he said at first he thought, I bet somebody poached a deer. Because I guess the Four Corners area has a lot of problem with off-season deer hunting around here.
They do?
Apparently so. So, he's seen this before. So he said trail of blood in a dirt road is, he's seen it before because people are poaching deer.
Have to be a lot of blood.
So this guy, in addition, they're poaching deer, is what he thinks. So he's looking for a pole. He's at work.
Yeah.
He's looking for a pole, sees blood drops, thinks that's probably a deer, got poached. He says, better get out and make sure.
Make sure?
Which is, again, put yourself in this guy's place.
Yeah.
I'm driving. I'm not getting out. If it's not a deer, whatever made that blood trail is now going to try to make me a blood trail too.
Yeah.
So I'm out of here. Going.
There's got to be a list of numbers that you call when you suspect that, right?
It's not my problem.
Turn it in and roll.
It's not the electric company guy's problem, probably.
Nope.
Probably not up to him. So the trail leads off the road through low brush, and he comes across a human body.
That's his fault.
Which is you begged for this, sir.
You
begged
asked.
for it.
You
Which,
definitely asked.
for whoever's family this is a great thing, but for him,
Terrible.
not so great.
Yeah.
It's an adult female, partially undressed. Now, the body is covered with just kind of some sticks and some brush and some,
There's not a lot of,
not a lot of foliage out there.
Vegetation.
There's not a lot of vegetation. There's not like you can't go break a branch off the oak tree and lay it on top or anything like that. It looked like basically the way you just throw some shit that you found on top of a body, so it wouldn't be super visible if you were just looking over the area quickly. But it's obvious that you can see it in daylight from a few feet away that it's a body under some sticks and some some leaves.
And
so
and the body was leaking all the way to the final destination.
It was dragged or carried because it's dropped, so could have been carried and dropped there. So the electric company guy sees this and goes, "Oh, this is way outside my purview here."
For sure. Yeah.
Calls the San Juan County Sheriff's Office, and deputies arrived, and they secure the scene. They get the sheriff and everybody, all hands on deck here, because this is a fresh body. This is not hasn't been here a while. The body is still warm to the touch, they said.
Oh my God!
Like it's not, fully cold yet even. So,
if somebody put the body there, they heard the electric guy rolling up.
Or it's a little while because it's warm out. It's June in New Mexico, so it's warm still, and that would have kept the body a little warmer. But not only that, there are 3 sets of footprints that they find around there too. And I would assume 4, but one is the electric company guy, which is another reason why you should probably just, if you suspect anything, call the cops, let them look at it, because otherwise you could be fucking up a crime scene, which is not good. They also find fresh tire tracks in soft sand.
Okay.
Like that's something. They find a still bloody knife thrown off in the bushes.
Jesus.
Yeah. Also, they find this is crazy. Near the road, they then find a bloody sledgehammer.
2
murder weapons now they found. And I like that the guy didn't see a bloody sledgehammer, but he saw droplets of blood.
Saw the droplets.
That's crazy. Then they find articles of women's clothing kind of strewn about as well here and there. So they're like, this is obviously a horrible scene.
Yeah.
And it looks like, from what the cops say, they feel like whoever did this before it got light outside.
Okay.
Because it looks like, in the dark, it would look like you hid your stuff well. But in the light, it's pretty obvious to see. But in the dark, you'd go, okay, I don't see anything. It's great. Right. So the medical investigator here shows up and starts doing some work on the body here. It turns out this woman has been stabbed in the chest and bludgeoned in the head.
Wow.
Okay. Cause of death was blunt force head trauma, and they assume that's from the sledgehammer.
Sure.
The chest stab was a contributing factor, but not her main cause of death.
Frenzied
is what, multiple weapons.
Yeah.
They're thinking, is this multiple weapons? Is this multiple offenders?
Yeah.
Multiple attackers? We don't know.
People, sure.
So they do get 3 sets of shoe impressions at the scene, which mean at least 2 people and the victim, they said. Mm-hmm. So they figure there's 2 weapons and 2 sets of footprints besides the victims.
Sure.
This is probably, we're talking about, 2 attackers here. And they find the tire here, the treads on the tire marks they find 3 different sets of tire treads.
Oh.
Which is interesting. But not from 3 different cars.
Right.
It's just one car with 3 different tire
tires.
treads on it. It was just somebody with a shit
Don't
tires.
break laws when you're living like that.
No, you can't live like that. You better have a buttoned up new Honda Accord or something.
Yeah.
That's just common.
All 4 same
Toyota
tires.
Camry or some shit. That with all tires that match. So then they find on the dirt near the road, they find a cell phone.
Okay.
They're like, okay. They find out it does not belong to the victim.
Okay.
As they find out who it belongs to, and it's a guy named Charles Bergen, Bergin.
Yeah.
He works for Bloomfield Towing. So they call him, and he picked up the phone, and he said, yes, I was out there last night. I was near Twin Mounds. I had a job in the pre-dawn hours and lost my phone out there. So pretty happy you found it, as a matter of fact.
Can I have that back?
He said, yeah. He said, I towed out a Ford Aspire out of the soft sand, which is a bad car.
Oh.
Bad. It looks like a Ford Aspire looks like one of those little Tykes cars you get for your kids that have the red ones with the yellow roof on it. That's what it looks like. Imagine if you made that for an adult and said, in that and put 3 separate tires on it.
But the thing is, those pieces of shit, I think they came with 3 separate tires.
I think they just said, this is what you get, dude.
We'll put a Goodyear, a fucking, they don't care.
There's like junkyard parts in the engine they put in there.
Yeah.
That's how we make these.
Brand new, there's junkyard parts in it.
That's what I mean. They come right off the line like that. Yeah. There's no helping it. So he said, I was getting not only a Ford Aspire out of the soft sand, but also another vehicle. There was a pickup there that I also towed out of the fucking sand. And he said I could describe the people involved. He said I can give you names as well. I have names. He said I got their names. They paid me in cash.
That'll be helpful.
And they said, well, who the fuck were they?
Yeah.
And he said, well, Bobby Fry and Leslie Eng. Eng is E-N-G-H, not like Charles Eng.
Weird.
The other serial killer. This is Leslie Eng. So not Asian is what I'm saying. So now let's talk about Robert Fry here quick. Yeah. Bobby Fry. Robert Ray Fry. Name of Bobby is what he goes by. Born August 18th, 1973. Okay. So he's, 27 at this point.
Sure.
He's from Farmington, New Mexico. This is his area. He is the last of 4 kids. He has 1 full sister and 2 step siblings from his father's first marriage that live with them. Dad had been married before. His dad's name is James. His mom's name is Gloria. Now, this is an intact family.
Wow.
There's no craziness at home that we know of. Gloria works for the San Juan County Probation Department. She worked for years for them. She is the adult misdemeanor administrator. Okay. Which is she processes every adult misdemeanor case in the county.
Fascinating.
So anybody who fucks up, she knows who they are, basically.
A minimal one, a small
DUIs,
fuck up.
disorderly conducts,
Yeah.
thefts, indecent exposure, I'm sure, some shit like that. Yeah, you get in a bar fight, whatever.
The whoops-a-daisies.
Non-felonies. So she's been there a long time, good at her job, knows all the locals, knows the legal system. Now, a little bit about Bobby. Here is an incident that gets brought up a lot and will be brought up a lot. In every profile of him, the Radford University psychological profile, the several books, forensic files, all this thing, they all mention the same incident. Now, there's no proof of this incident, there's no pictures, but this is like family lore that everyone has accepted as fact. And
I'm on the edge of my seat.
We have no reason to be whatever, to doubt it. Age 3, this happens to Bobby, okay?
Happens to Bobby.
It happens to Bobby. It is known forevermore as the ketchup incident. All right, here we go. He's 3. He's in the care of a babysitter. Now, his grandmother just died within the month at 3. But, I mean, you don't even know what dead is at 3. No idea.
You barely know your grandma.
You barely know anybody. You're 3. Yeah. You don't know anybody. You know your mom pretty well. Everybody else is just some weird peripheral figure. But so it's very strange. So he's being babysat. Like I said, at 3, you don't even usually tell 3-year-olds when somebody dies for a while because what's the point? They don't know what that is. They can't process that.
They don't understand. They don't have any reference of death.
Yeah. My great-grandmother died when I was like 4, and they all told me I had to go to the funeral. But we're Italian. Death is a morbid fascination with these people. So
my great-grandmother died when I was 3, I think.
Same time,
I don't. They didn't even tell me. I mean,
I had to go
later on. I mean, obviously she's dead. I've never seen her.
Hey, where's great-grandma? Well, I remember that funeral. Do I have a
great-great-grandma too? Oh. You do. Guess what?
I still remember them jumping in the casket. Oh, my, screaming in Italian, jumping in the casket. It was wild. Me and my cousin were freaked out. We were both 4. We were like, this is crazy. What is happening? So anyway, somehow he knows all about death, I guess, apparently, and he's in the care of a babysitter. Now, the babysitter has some sons also, okay?
Yeah.
Who are older than 3. And they thought they would play a joke on the 3-year-old, which playing a joke on a 3-year-old is hide their fruit snacks for 4 minutes. That's a joke for a 3-year-old. There's no, they don't have much of a sense of humor, 3-year-olds, really.
I mean, you put them in a closet and hold the door shut or whatever.
Jesus, that's just mean. Is that what you're doing to 3-year-olds? What the fuck?
I mean, that's what we did to 3-year-olds.
Jesus.
Our nieces and nephews and cousins. Yeah.
No, my aunt, who, by the way, is the sweetest person alive, is so nice, used to torment me when I was a fucking kid. At 3 years old, she was making me and my cousin Jesse eat ants, telling us the black ones were chocolate and the red ones were strawberry.
Good.
That's nice. Having us tried to get us to eat dog food and just all sorts of mean shit. When
my uncle would handcuff our right wrist to. He was a cop.
Yeah, my aunt was like, he's an adult. What the fuck? My aunt was like, she's like 9 years older than me. She was a teenager, so it made more. She just wanted us to leave her alone. That makes sense.
He'd handcuff your right wrist to your left ankle behind your back.
Okay, that guy I want in prison right now. Because imagine what he does to suspects. Still.
Not anymore. He's retired.
Okay,
long
good.
Retired.
Well,
it's like 70. Fuck.
Hopefully something will come up and we'll put that guy away because he's done bad things to people. I guarantee it if he thinks that's funny. That's awful. That's fucking terrible.
My family's trash.
Sorry, my Aunt Lisa, I will give you a huge pass. You were 14. You didn't know any better. You're fine. You were 13. You're good.
Yeah.
This is crazy.
We're trash. I don't know. We have fist fights in hospitals. We're trash.
She tied my cousin Jesse up one time with bungee cords and shit and like bandanas and stuff.
Yeah.
And then I went and told my grandmother who was outside in her little garden. And I said, Grandma, she tied Jesse up. My grandmother yelled at me, said, what the hell do you want me to do about it? You go figure it out yourself. And that was it. I was
No, I didn't do it.
I was like, sorry, dude. I went back up there some. I was like, sorry. I told Grandma she didn't have anything to do. And I just went and watched
She was
TV.
mad at me.
She got mad for bothering her. So anyway,
she hates me now.
The trick they play on this kid is to all of them, they smeared ketchup all over themselves, which sounds really sticky.
Sounds horny.
And pretended to be dead.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
With blood all over him. So he walks in and sees his babysitter and her teenage sons lying on the floor covered in blood, covered in ketchup.
Summer schooled him.
Pretending to be dead, exactly. But a 3-year-old. So that's the story. And apparently he always brings it up as this really fucked him up good.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, come on.
How much ketchup?
How much did you have in the house to cover all of yours? So it had to be just a little bit on the face, but to a 3-year-old, any amount of blood is a lot.
Yeah.
So in school, he's basically a fat kid who gets picked on and then bullies people afterwards.
That's the evolution.
It's his cycle. Yeah. If he ever gets big enough to pick on other people, he's going to.
Yeah.
So that's basically what he does here. There's no there's no sexual abuse. His parents aren't alcoholics. There's none of that shit. The household
There's a ketchup
seems
incident.
Pretty stable. And that was with a babysitter. That wasn't even that.
Right.
No CPS never got called or anything.
Right.
It's, one of those deals. His handwriting sucks, okay? He's left-handed.
Yeah. Oh.
His handwriting sucks, which a lot of kids' handwriting sucks. Mine was shitty too.
Mine was great for so long.
Really?
And I stopped doing it and started typing everything. See me right now. Holy fuck. So embarrassing.
Mine, I was always trying to go 10 times faster than I
Really?
could. So it was always scribbly because I was always wanting to get it
I
out.
just wrote all caps for a long time.
Oh, that's weird. So
That's a weird thing to do, yeah.
So the school decides to force him to write right-handed now, which is what they used to do in Catholic school in the 50s.
Yeah.
They tried to get my mother to write right-handed. She's left-handed,
Really?
went to Catholic school. And so they tried to get, because that's evil. That's satanic if you're left-handed.
Because it's the wrong side.
Exactly. So that's what they do. Now, I don't know if that's what these people were doing, but either way, they were they forced him to write right-handed. Basically, he got C's and D's in school.
Yeah, fine.
Family and teachers, they say he's an average to above average IQ. He's not dumb.
Sure.
He's not smart. He's just kind of there. He reads and writes and does all that. He's just fat and lazy and pissed off all the time. That's the crux of it. He saw a school psychologist at some point in here, which is good. That's a start and didn't usually happen back then, but That's good. We don't know for how long or if it helped anything. In his teen years, he gets more into his later teens. He gets into kind of fantasy stuff because he gets picked on a lot. He's that's what he does. So he gets into Dungeons and Dragons.
Oh, yeah.
Which is, the refuge for people who are looking for something to go to.
When this reality sucks, I'll make my own. Yeah.
And usually the Dungeons and Dragons kids are usually the really nice kids. They're usually really smart too.
Inclusive.
Anybody's allowed to play.
Yeah. We need another anyway all the time.
Yeah. They're very smart usually too. Sometimes a little nerdy, but smart usually. You get the smart kids playing that. Dumb kids can't follow that. It's too complicated.
Well, you got to have an open mind too. And dumb kids generally don't.
Yeah, there's a lot to remember. There's a lot of things and rules, and this one's got this, and it's 8 points for that, or even the dice would be confusing for the die would be confusing.
God, how many
for a
is
dumb
it?
Kid.
10, 12?
Somewhere than that. I can't remember. I used to buy them 20-sided.
There's 20-sided ones. I know
so.
that.
Yeah, I used to get them for my daughter all the time. She plays.
There's a bunch of different ones too. I think there's 8-sided. Obviously,
I'm sure. I don't know what the standard
Oh, the standard thrower.
This is our D&D dice. Yeah, I don't know what that is. He also played Vampire the Masquerade.
Okay.
Which is another game. That game I know nothing about. I had to look it up. It's apparently set in the, quote, world of darkness, where players portray vampires navigating political intrigue. Political intrigue?
The fuck?
We really got to get Johnson elected in the as the fucking...
This cabinet's bullshit.
This is great. We got to get Johnson elected as the city's new alderman, or else really we're in a lot of trouble. So put on your fangs and let's get out there on the campaign trail. Political intrigue.
Knock some doors.
Yeah. Personal horror and hunger in a gothic punk modern world. Created in 1991.
What a weird game.
Sounds weird. His favorite band is the Misfits, which... If you went to high school in the 90s, you've seen 7 trillion Misfits shirts.
Sure.
So that's pretty cool.
It's one of the cooler T-shirts of all time.
That's for a band who didn't ever have a platinum album. They sold a fuckload of merch. Fuckload of shirts, man. And like every Spencer's and every mall in America had 5 Misfits shirts, and I mean that. People had those shirts.
It's probably just because the band name is fucking rad.
Well, they have that cool logo too, with like the face.
They fucking nailed it.
It's pretty cool. They did a good job with that.
Yeah.
So anyway, Bobby is kind of this kid. He's playing D&D. He's kind of doing things like that. He tells bullshit stories, as like a lot of teenagers do.
Well, he's also in a land of make believe, and he clearly hates reality. So he's going to create his own reality.
And usually when people get picked on a lot too, they create these stories about how tough they are.
Yeah.
And so he starts telling stories about getting in knife fights with people and stuff like that. He's a fat kid who plays D&D. He's not getting in knife fights with anybody at this point in his life in high school.
There's a knife fight. He's getting stabbed to death.
He tells hopefully his fat layers will save him at this point. Stories about putting people in the hospital and, being a badass. He likes telling all these stories about being a badass. No one believes him at all. Everyone's like, okay, Bobby's telling stories again, whatever. Here he goes. He barely graduates high school, which is still better than I did. I didn't graduate. I got a GED, so hey, good for you. You finished at least.
I barely graduated, so I get it.
There you go. At 18, he volunteers with the local fire department.
Okay.
And by the way, and he has an incident that is he and his sisters and mother talk about, but I don't know if it's documented anywhere else.
All right.
Where apparently he responded to a car accident scene, which that's what volunteer firefighters do.
Volunteer, yeah.
And he had to comfort a dying accident victim. So he was holding someone while they were covered in blood and dying. And that he said that fucked him all up as much as the ketchup incident.
It'll be fine. Go to the light. Yeah.
It's all back. Yeah. Now, this is 1991. He's 18. He starts to drink and do drugs too at this point. And he's playing D&D and he's volunteer firefighting.
Going to get himself kicked off that fire brigade.
Well, probably not. I don't know. They probably need firemen around there. They probably don't care.
Volunteers, though, I think everybody has to be a volunteer, right? In the community.
If it's a volunteer force.
When it's a volunteer force, I think you have to volunteer.
Well, yeah, that's a volunteer force.
But I mean, I think in a small community, I think everybody's tasked with having to.
Yeah, no. No, you don't have to be a volunteer fireman. No one can force you to go to an accident scene and fucking clean up the debris. No one can force you to do that. No, you have to volunteer to be a fireman.
There's something about that, though.
I'm not paying for it and then also having to volunteer too. I pay for it. You know what I mean? Like
right. But in small communities where they don't pay for it, where they don't have one,
you have to volunteer still.
You have.
No, I mean,
but
to
you
be
don't
on the
have
force.
to volunteer.
Exactly.
Okay, got it. Right.
You have to, but you don't have to. There's that's
you have to be voluntold.
No, voluntoling. No voluntelling, only volunteering. So there's also an accusation at this point that he raped a woman around age 18, but that never really gets substantiated, and we don't know what actually happened here.
But there's no charges.
No charges, nothing like that. So he enlists in the Navy.
He's doing a lot of
nothing going on here.
Nothing.
And what he's also doing, it looks like, is looking for things to join, to be a part of. I'm going to be a part of the firefighters. That's a group now. They have to accept me.
Right.
I'm going to go in the Navy where we're all,
It's a bunch of people that don't kick you out.
Exactly. And he's a big guy at this point, too. He's 6'1", he's 250 pounds. He's a big old guy. He gets sent to Guam, and then he came home here. After a while, the Navy kicks him out. Dishonorable discharge he ends up getting.
That's the way to get kicked out. Yeah.
That'll do it. So that's about it. So he gets home from the Navy. Now, he's been kicked out of the Navy. I mean, he wasn't there for 5 years or anything like that. He's home within 2 years. And he starts telling stories again. He loves to tell stories about what a badass he is. Oh, now he's telling everybody in the bars around Farmington that he's what? You know what he's going to say.
A war hero?
Navy SEAL. I'm a Navy SEAL, babe. That's right.
More like a Navy whale.
I'm a Navy SEAL. Like he could make it through the training. Number one. And he couldn't even make it through the basic program. Never mind the buds training and all that. Just a whole separate thing. That's crazy. So now he would tell all this shit. The friends would always say that nobody believed him. They all were like, one friend called it his flights of fancy. This is what he does. He tells stories. He's full of shit. He does all that. Now, another friend of his, Larry Hudson, who knows Bobby pretty well, said that he liked to perform in public, basically. He'd tell stories. Everybody knew he has a big knife collection and stuff like that. He tries to play, Johnny Badass over here. Yeah. And so they all kind of just take his SEAL claims, grain of salt. They all laugh at it when he leaves the room. They're like, this fucking jerk off every time. That's who he is, though. He just likes to be this big guy, big person. Now, the knives he has, he names his knives.
Like people names?
Yeah. If you name your knives,
that's bizarre.
I'm worried about you.
Other than this one,
this is the big one. This is the soup. This one's fucking sharp. I call this the fucking sharp one. Be careful with this one. It's sharp.
This one. Do not touch that blade. Even to rub it backward against the blade. Just don't touch it.
So
don't touch.
He had one that he called Baby Bubba the Butcher Knife.
Oh, Jesus.
That's going to go well. So interesting. He owned in his little collection, he had more than a dozen knives from, kind of fancy little jackknives that are like ornate to a huge Bowie knife with a big fucking blade. That's the one he called Bubba the Butcher Knife, Baby Bubba the Butcher Knife.
It's a Bowie knife?
It's a Bowie knife, a big Rambo knife. Wow. And he told all his friends, because he'd carry that one a lot, and he told all his friends that, Bubba's not made for cutting up animals. Bubba's made for cutting human flesh.
Oh, Jesus.
I don't know what specific differences in the manufacturing process you'd have to put in to make it go from gutting a deer to gutting people, but it seems like similar things probably.
I can't imagine.
Sharp metal.
Yeah, I can't imagine the density of either are that much different.
No, and unless it's a medical supply place, I don't know what manufacturer's going. Now this knife's for chopping up people. Here's our hunting collection. Now we have our vivisection people collection that we're going to have here. That's going to be perfect.
Here's our feral water vermin section.
That's for those. So he would brag about how he'd use this to cut people open in bar fights and shit.
Oh, Jesus.
All of that shit. And all of his friends were like, sure, okay, no problem, Bobby, whatever. So he's back in Farmington now after the Navy, telling stories, talking about his knives,
Good Lord.
being a jerk off. We all know this jerk off. We all know the guy.
Far too old to be being this guy.
Yep, got kicked out of the military and he's back at home and he tells stories. It's a giant 13-year-old. It's pathetic. And you get a life. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We all know this guy though. Every town has them. So he takes a bunch of shitty marginal jobs. He drives a car for a halfway house, giving people like rides to court. Shit like that, people to and from their jobs. He worked as a security guard. Who the hell would hire this guy? Wow. He worked as a bouncer for a little while because he's a big guy. He worked construction. He did some oil field shit. It all is very short time temp jobs till he gets something else.
Quick turnaround.
Yeah. That's about that. So he likes to hang out in the 90s. He likes to hang out, go to the bars of Farmington.
Fantastic.
Loves it. There's bars
plural? I didn't know it.
Oh, there's 46,000 people here now. There was like 30-something thousand back then. There's bars on Main Street. There's bars on the highway. There's bars everywhere.
Really?
All over the place.
And he's going to all of them.
Oh, yeah. One is called The Turnaround. He goes there a lot. It doesn't exist anymore. It's a shithole. But it was a dive bar in the middle of nowhere. So he goes there.
Named after his working career.
Yeah,
the quick turnaround.
His naval career.
Yeah.
Also coffee shops that are open and late that they hang out at, and those are kind of like goth kid hangouts.
Sure.
The coffee shops. There's also a place called the Eclectic on North Allen Avenue, which is a block off Main Street. It's a head shop essentially.
Sure.
Yeah, they have bongs and shit like that, and they have like swords and goofy shit that head shops have, incense and crystals, and it's kind of an all-encompassing type of joint here. You've seen it. So anyway, he, posters and
Bobby's hanging out there.
He hangs out there a lot because also they sell like shit for D&D and stuff like that. He hangs out there, and him and his friends will hang out there. Now he has also at this place is a glass display full of what are called ornate knives and swords.
Yeah.
The shit you hang on the wall. That know the guy who has ornate swords in his wall.
Yeah.
That guy.
Generally, when you buy them, they're unsharpened.
Exactly. They're for show.
They're not. You just have an unsharpened knife on the wall.
It's
sword,
just for show.
Katana blade, shit like that.
They get silly stuff, or like the real ornate ones with like crazy stuff coming out of them, and something looks like it's from a movie, shit like that. Yeah. So they had samurai swords, they had regular swords, broadswords, like replicas, like Conan type style swords. Some had like the curvy blades that are just just for show. Some are actual like hunting knives with like turquoise handles and fancy shit.
Stone handles, bone handles.
Yeah, collector pieces, not anything that you'd go out and do anything with. So Bobby hangs out all the time. He comes in drunk. He talks too loud. Tells everybody about how he was a Navy SEAL and how he's killed people and he gets in bar fights and all that shit. So they said that his friend Larry Hudson said basically his stories about his constant violent actions were so constant and insidious and just up his ass with it that they became, you didn't even hear him anymore, he said. It was just...
He just shut him out.
Just shut him out because it's another one of those stories again. And anything that comes up, he's like, oh, I knew a guy in that town. I killed him with Bubba, And they're like, okay, sure. So they just all laughed at. He's the guy they all laugh at when he leaves the room. They go, Jesus, I thought he'd never shut the fuck up. So at this point, he's 6'1", white dude, big, kind of a big, stocky guy. He's been a construction worker, a security guard, halfway house driver, an oil field worker. He's been like in the Navy, but most of the jobs of the village people he's done. He's been basically every village person besides the Indian. He's been every other.
He's an aimless nerd dork who changes his look with whatever career he's got.
Usually, at least with nerds, they're smart and they do things. Like he's the worst kind of nerd I've ever heard of. Fat, lazy nerd.
Yeah.
And he's a guy who names his knives, for Christ's sake. I mean, he's
lack of creativity on everything too.
Oh yeah, and he's in his 20s. Like it's almost
not
done, man.
Growing
up.
Yeah.
He's still stuck at 16.
if it's not
15.
pathetic and sad at this moment, it's about 3 months away from it.
Wow, it is. Yeah, it's bad. He's also has a dumb shit buddy of his that we'll talk about here. This is Harold Pollock, Pollock. He goes by either Hal or the name I saw in a newspaper that would be much cooler for him, Harley.
From Harold to Harley?
If your name is Harold, that is the least tough guy name that's ever been given. Harold is like an old joke where you hear like some old lady calling her, Harold, what are you doing in there? That's what that is. That's an old guy who maybe does your taxes. He's bald like Homer Simpson. Your name isn't Harley if you're Harold. Sorry.
This guy sat around going, how dare you, Mom? How am I going to cool this up?
Harley. Hal, fine.
Harley.
I'll give you Hal. Now you just sound like an old man. That's fine. You sound like you're 100 years old. That's fine.
Hal's wild, too. I didn't know that was short for Harold. I would have gone with Harry.
Absolutely. Harry'd be the first one, but nobody wants to be Harry.
Nobody wants to be Harry.
So Hal, I'll give you. I see an H, I see an A, I see an L in there. Great. You can be Harold if you want. You can't be Harley, though. That is not a nickname of Harold. It is absolutely not a nickname of Harold. Never.
And also, a nickname or a for short is supposed to be at least less letters.
Same shit.
Same thing.
Harley. Well, not really. James and Jimmy are the same fucking amount of letters, too.
I guess. And James is one syllable. Why do you guys make it harder by going with 2 syllables?
No idea.
It's crazy.
So he's a couple years older than Bobby, and he's also pretty dumb from what a lot of people say.
All right.
Pretty dumb. Now on Sunday, November 24th, 1996.
Yeah.
Okay. This is 4 days before Thanksgiving week.
Yeah.
It's a Sunday. So we have Bobby hanging out with old Harley Pollock there. Jesus Christ. So stupid. He's hanging out down by the mall, the Animas Valley Mall, I guess here. So I guess he runs into old Harold there, and Harold's already there doing something. Bobby starts drinking some beers. Everybody said that he'd drink 5 beers to your 1. Bobby.
Harley would.
No, Bobby would.
Oh,
down and shit.
He hammers beer.
Hammers beers, pounds them, and then drinks a lot. Then he gets drunk real quick, and then he becomes real boisterous and agitated and tells you about how the people he stabbed. Now, Hal Pollock said that night, he said, quote, "We all partied and kicked back. I'm not sure how much I drank, but I wasn't sober. Bobby at one point offered to find a prostitute and bring her back to the apartment." They're at some apartment near the mall.
Yeah.
Okay. That's some offer. Now, gee, thanks. You're going to bring a stranger into my house that you picked up off the street and paid money for sex for.
Well, calm down. I'm going to give her money.
Please. Yeah.
Don't be so judgmental.
Use my bed. Wait, let me put some of my valuables out first. Let me make sure to lay them out so she doesn't feel uncomfortable.
That is some offer.
Thanks a lot. So Hal said he wasn't particularly into that. Not into that idea.
It's
and he knew it was trouble.
What a gift. Yeah.
Yeah, thanks a lot.
Yeah.
And he knew it was trouble, too. He just said him and, fucking Bobby and this and that.
Yeah.
It's too much. It's too much. But he said he went along anyway because basically he was more sober than Bobby, and Bobby told him, "You're driving. So let's go." Okay. So Bobby's so fucked up he can barely walk straight. They said he's trashed.
Oh my gosh.
So they get into Bobby Fry's blue Ford Aspire.
Fantastic. It's Bobby's.
Yep. And hit the streets of Farmington looking for some ladies of the evening here. Okay.
A 6'1",
That's
healthily overweight man jams it into an Aspire.
And the passenger side, too, on this one. But everybody says that that's a funny sight watching Bobby stuff himself into the Aspire. It's funny.
I believe every word of it.
Absolutely. So they're driving. They're not finding any ladies out at this point. And they pass the Eclectic, the store they both hang out at here. And it's one of their favorite hangouts. They're always there.
Sure.
Doing whatever. So Bobby saw lights on in the store and told Pollock to stop the car. He said, I need to take a piss, and this is the only place that's open that I can go in there and they'll let me piss.
Hit the brakes.
Let me go piss. So now normally he would have just pissed in an alley, but apparently the fact that this place was open and he could piss in a bathroom made it better because it was a cold night.
Yeah.
So he knew that the people in the store that were in there would let him in because they knew him, even if it's locked up. There's a guy named Joseph Fleming who's 24 years old. And he technically, I guess, works there. He's a security guard for a company that patrols the mall area and did security work at local events. But he's not really working security that night, I don't think. I think he's just hanging out playing video games.
At the Eclectic?
At the Eclectic.
Yeah.
Then there's 18-year-old Matt Trecker, Treckeer.
It's a lot of dudes.
It's just a couple of dudes hanging out in the back of the store. Yeah. And Trecker's asleep in one of the back rooms. And this is all of this group, they've all spent the night at the Eclectic from time to time.
Okay.
Fallen asleep in one of the back rooms. Nobody cares. So Fleming here again, I believe it's Joseph Aaron Fleming. He's 24 and a security guard, and he's hanging out. He's a former U.S. Army soldier, Sergeant First Class. Honorable discharge. Didn't get kicked out. Probably doesn't tell crazy stories. And Matt Trecker, Matthew, he's an 18-year-old kid who likes hanging out in the store. He likes role-playing books and all that kind of shit. He's into that. So everybody is very loose about this. The manager even is loose about the whole thing, and he basically doesn't mind if a bunch of 19 to 23-year-olds hang out in the store at all times, basically. There's nothing they can hurt is the way he looks at it.
As long as they don't steal anything, I guess. There isn't really much to steal, right?
I mean, there's swords and books and things. There's plenty to steal.
It'd be obvious if they took something, though, right?
That's the thing. Yeah. And it's also, this place is this is a small town in northwestern New Mexico, so there's not a lot of weird shit. So anybody who is into anything kind of cool or weird or off the beaten path, this is where they all hang out and gather because this is the only place to do that. So Bobby pounds on the front door here, says, let me in, and Fleming lets him inside. So, okay, here we go. Joe Fleming says, come on in, talks with them for a little while, then goes back to his computer game. Now, Fry uses the bathroom, Bobby does, and then he and Pollock end up in the main showroom looking at everything.
Yeah.
Bobby is looking at the display case containing all the knives and swords. That's what he's into.
Right. Yeah.
So, that's his thing. So he tells, he's telling, hey, look at the knives. They're pretty cool. And Pollock's like, yeah, whatever, I don't care. The display case was unlocked.
Oh.
So Pollock watches Bobby pick up and admire some of the knives. Look at this one, put it back, look at this one. So while they're in there, Joseph Fleming he was playing his computer game and didn't watch these guys. They were friends and everybody hung out here and who cares, basically. And also Fry was working as a security guard at the same time. So it's like, we're both security guards. It's fine. Even though neither of us work here. No big deal.
Yeah. Okay.
So
it's very odd.
Yeah. Now he's shit-faced, like we said, Bobby.
Right.
He turns to his buddy here, to Pollock, and says, I'm going to steal some.
Oh, boy.
Some of the knives. Now, Hal said he didn't think it was a great idea, but he didn't say shit because Bobby weighs 100 pounds more than him and is shit-faced, and he doesn't have any interest in it. So he knew that, Bobby can get into shit and you don't want to talk him out of it, especially when he's drinking. And when he doesn't get his way, he gets pissed off. So he said he reluctantly helped Bobby gather up lot of knives, and they're expensive, these knives.
What?
Several $1,000s worth of expensive knives.
Why is he doing this?
Because he told him he's doing it. And they let themselves out of the store without telling Fleming even that they were leaving. They just took off. He basically took about a dozen knives. There's a samurai sword in there.
What the fuck?
All sorts of shit. Now, we don't know exactly because there's no security footage in there or anything like that. And basically, there's not a lot of inventory tracking in the head shop's glass knives section, glass display case of knives section. It's pretty loosey-goosey with how they do the books here. So The two of them leave. They drive out into the desert north of Farmington to a place called, what they call it, I guess the locals call it Choke Cherry Canyon.
Gross, yeah.
Where they bury all the knives and swords.
Bury them. Put that
Why
metal
steal them?
right in the ground.
Why steal them if you're going to drive direct? It's not even like they played with them for a while, then a week later. So they drove right to the desert to bury them. What's the point? Now you're digging a hole in the middle of the night? You've made our night way worse by doing this.
Right. You're digging a hole in the middle of the night and putting metal in the ground where it can be destroyed.
Immediately rust. Yeah. The moisture from the ground will kill it right off the bat.
This is stupid.
It's very stupid. It's very dumb, but it worked. Nobody noticed the knives were missing right away.
Yeah.
Because there's a bunch of them in there, and he didn't take all of them. He just took some of them, which is very interesting. The problem is I don't get what he's going to do with these things.
Yeah, what's the end game there?
You can't hawk them.
No.
They're going to say, where'd you get these? And they have to tell him. You can't do anything with them, so it just doesn't make any sense that he would do that. It's very strange. Now, I guess later on, and this is from a book that we'll give you the title of later, Harley Pollock said the knife display case was like a magnet for Bobby. He had absolutely been obsessed about these knives for years. Yeah. This is his thing here.
These particular knives he's loved for a long time.
Staring at him in that case for years. November 28th, 1996.
Yeah.
I don't think they sell a lot. Those knives are mainly like for like decoration vibe type shit. Like they probably sell one a year of those fucking things. They're not selling that a lot. It's kids coming in to get 20-sided die and the like. That's what's going on.
When somebody says, I want to buy that knife, they go, really?
Yeah, they go, okay, I guess. I mean, so yeah, we don't even know how many years they've been sitting there.
Yeah.
It's not like every day they go through the inventory and they're like, samurai sword, check, that's still there, this one there.
They got
Nobody
to check
cares.
the price tag to be reminded what it costs.
Yeah, they don't even know. So that week, November 28th, 1996, that is Thursday night, Thanksgiving night.
Yeah.
Okay, now Thanksgiving night, they're in the apartment again near the Animas Valley Mall. Small group of kids gathered for a post-Thanksgiving party, which young people, I remember doing that when I was young all the time after your family stuff. Then you all get together. Everybody goes to like a diner, you go to a bar, depending on your age. So they're all hanging out, drinking beer, doing a little bit of drugs here and there. You know, nothing crazy, loud music, just a party with a bunch of kids, 20-year-olds, 22-year-olds. Bobby's there, Harold Pollock is there, and about a dozen other people, ranging from 19 to 25, somewhere in there. Yeah. The Misfits are bumping over the system there.
Let them have it.
They're drinking like crazy, little bit of drugs, but it's mainly a beer party. That's what's going on here. Listening to music, doing their thing. Bobby, is loving this because he gets to drink. He loves the Misfits. This is all things he loves. He's drinking. He's loud. He's storytelling as usual. Everyone's trying to ignore him. They said basically he was getting crazy over the course of this night, like telling a lot of stories, really getting in people's faces.
Really gassing himself up.
Really just kind of getting in people's personal space and shit. Just a little too aggressive tonight, basically. Okay. He's wearing work boots, a black Misfits t-shirt, and also he has a knife on him as well. At some point, Bobby decides that, you know what? This is boring. He said, let's make this a Thanksgiving to remember, everybody.
Let's never forget Thanksgiving.
And they said, sure, how do we do that?
Well, we got to make it memorable. We got to have an event.
Is it Grandma's last Thanksgiving, maybe?
It's possible.
No, the way we will fix this is let's go get a prostitute. That'll do it. That's a solution to everything. Yeah. Let's just go get a woman off the street and pay her, and then we can all. So anyway, that's what he said.
We're going to all share one?
Well, mostly everybody kind of ignored him. Like, yeah, okay, whatever. Yeah. That's his plan, though. Let's just go get a lady, or we'll pass her around like it's some weird bachelor party from hell. I don't know what's going on.
Let's all go get different ones.
Nope, just one. That's it. So Bobby said, no, we're going. Yeah, everybody.
I'd never forget that Thanksgiving, James. If you and I pooled our money and got a prostitute,
it would be very memorable because that would be an odd thing. Exactly. So he needs someone else to drive.
Yeah.
And he, again, knows that Harold's the guy who will do that. So he said, Harold.
Harley!
Harley in the car, my friend. Let's go.
Yeah.
You're driving. And he said, fuck, okay, let's do it. So he says not enthused again. Doesn't want to really do this. But he knew that if he told him no, the shit would get worse. Yeah. So they leave the party sometime after 11 p.m. and get into Pollock's car now, not the Aspire, different car.
Yeah.
They drive around downtown Farmington looking for a woman out, plying her wares. Now,
just the trope of a lady walking.
I don't know how much streetwalker action goes on in a town with like 33,000 people at the time.
Yeah.
You don't see that a lot in small towns. Just the ladies out walking.
Yeah.
You know,
there might only be one.
Just one. That's her. We know her. They call her Downtown Debbie, and everybody knows her. That's what it would be, though. So they're looking and they don't find anybody. It's Thanksgiving night, and
The family.
Yeah, there's nothing even else open. It's Thanksgiving, so everything's closed. And
Thighs even close on Thanksgiving, James.
Yeah, everything's closed. So they find that after midnight, so they drive around for almost an hour in a small town, and then they find the Eclectic. The lights are on inside again. Okay. So this is just after midnight, so Thursday into Friday morning. Sure. Joseph Fleming is still there. Okay, he's still there. 24 or 25 years old. I believe 25, but some sources say 24. Doesn't matter. He's working. He's there. He works there, apparently. He's hanging out overnight. Yeah. I guess, because the place isn't open. It's locked.
Right.
But he's there all night. I don't know what the deal is. So anyway, he goes to he's in there. So he's at the front. And, hanging out looking at computer shit. Now, Matthew Trecker, remember the guy from last time?
From asleep.
He's still there. He's in the back of the store.
Yeah.
And he's basically hanging out. And guess what he is? Asleep in the back.
Again, yeah.
This kid needs an apartment, for Christ's sake.
Shit.
So he's 18. He's asleep, after Thanksgiving, just doing his thing. So Bobby walks in and Pollock walks in behind him. Mm-hmm. The door is open. The bell on the door rings. They go in there. They all know each other and everything like that. They played video games with Bobby in the store and everything like that. So everybody knows him. Now, what happens next comes from Pollock. And there's two versions of it. Yeah. Oh, Harley here. Now, Pollock says he went to the bathroom. Uh-huh. Now, what he says is when he came out of the bathroom, he saw something and he didn't know he was like confused by the whole thing. Mm-hmm. He said, I saw Bobby on top of Joe wrestling with him. Bobby had his hands around Joe's throat. Then he stood up and stepped on Joe's throat. He was wearing work boots. He was acting scared. Joe had a lot of blood around him and he wasn't moving. I saw Bobby wiping blood from his hands and arms.
Oh, boy.
This escalated fast. So that's how it goes. Now, that is the first version he gives. He also gives another one where he is more of a participant and less of a shocked guy who just came out of the fucking bathroom.
A guy who just stumbled upon an assault?
That's basically what it is. Now, he says that Matthew Trecker came out of the back room and saw Joe on the floor and saw what was happening. And he was like looking like, what the fuck? And then Bobby sucker punched him. He never saw it coming. Uh-huh. He just got him from the side, never saw it coming, knocked him down and unconscious. So at which point now, Pollock says that Bobby Fry reaches into his pocket, pulls out a knife, and cuts Joe Fleming's throat with a knife.
Wow.
Yeah. And then later on, the medical examiner will say it's blunt force injury consistent with a heavy boot crushing the windpipe and throat slit.
Fuck.
A painful, shitty death is what this is. So then he turns to Matthew Trecker, goes over, he's on the ground unconscious. He pulls up Matt's shirt and starts stabbing him in the chest.
Oh,
multiple
God.
times. Just brutalizing this kid, this poor kid. He's 18 years old, for Christ's sake. And then he handed Pollock the knife. And he said, quote, we can do this. We can be each other's alibi. Huh? Foolproof. I'll say you were with me over here. You'll say I was with you, and then we're golden.
Crisscross.
Crisscross.
What the fuck does that mean?
Nothing. He's a moron.
You just killed 2 people. I didn't.
But that's okay. Anytime you kill people, as long as you do it with another person, it's foolproof because you can just both say you were somewhere else, and then they can't possibly crack that story. It's over.
We can be each other's. No, bitch. What are you talking about?
What are you talking about? So
I don't need one.
But he's handing him the knife, saying, "Stab him too, and we're each other's alibis. Let's do this together." So Pollock says he stabbed Matt Trecker 3 or 4 times with the knife.
Oh my.
Then Bobby walked over to the display case, took out 2 more swords. This is going to get worse, Jimmy.
Why?
One was a big wavy bladed sword. The other one was like a samurai sword.
Yeah.
So Bobby Jesus Christ, Bobby hands Harley the samurai sword and says, quote, "Let's cut his head off." Oh,
okay.
Hey, what about that prostitute? I feel like if we don't get out there, we're really never going to find a lady. Like, anything to get him out of here. You hungry? What the fuck?
I thought we were going in halvesies on pussy, man.
Yeah, I thought where we were going. I thought it was on you tonight. What's going on? I was excited. So anyway, he said, "Let's cut his head off." So Pollock said basically that he and Bobby tried to behead Matthew with swords.
Oh my! And these are not unsharpened.
That's the problem. These are display swords. These are not sharpened swords. So he said that Pollock said he reluctantly took the sword and stared down at Matt. He said he always liked Matt, but what's he supposed to do? He's got a giant psychopath who just killed 2 people as a sword next to him. What's he supposed? Yeah. There's no way out of this. This is according to Pollock. I'm not saying it's true. So he said, if I don't do this, I'm sure Bobby's going to kill me. So Pollock said he was shaking and nearly crying at this point. He said he bent down and placed what would be the sharp edge of the sword, which is not the backside, against Trecker's throat, then began to saw at it.
Christ.
Okay.
With like a spoon, for Jesus.
It's horrifying. With a butter knife, essentially. And he couldn't get through it. And they were trying to cut his head off. They couldn't get it. Pollock later said to the cops, quote, "It was hard. It was like chopping wood."
Way worse.
Disgusting.
With a sock.
This is crazy. So they couldn't chop through his neck. They never got through his neck. His head ultimately stayed on his body.
Yeah.
And he died from stab wounds instead.
Jesus.
So now what the fuck do they do?
Mm-hmm.
They realize, oh shit, we're inside of a locked store.
Yeah.
The store is locked.
In.
They locked us on the way in. They locked the door, which has a key, but they didn't know what to do. Now, there's a couple different versions. Pollock said they broke the key off in the lock on the way in or way out. They're not sure which one, but the key was broken off in the lock. And the back door has an alarm on it, and they don't know the alarm code. So they're trapped in this store now. 2 dead bodies that they've killed, and there's no way to get the fuck out of here. So eventually they got out. Now, we're not sure how they got out. They think they possibly damaged another door that didn't have an alarm on it and got out that way.
Yeah.
Whatever it was, they ended up getting out, but it took a while. Okay. So they drove away. Where do you go now? Well, back to Chokecherry Canyon. That's our hideout spot, apparently, where they had buried the original swords and knives. They try to clean up and figure out what the fuck they're gonna do now. Pollock said Bobby was excited. He said he was energized. That's the exact words he used here. He said he'd finally done the things he was telling stories about. So he was into it, basically. Yeah. Pollock said he was sick. He was just sick. He said he couldn't believe what he did. He couldn't eat. He couldn't sleep. Horrible.
Yeah, this is disgusting.
Yeah, that's the thing. Maybe don't hang out with this asshole. So
it's a normal reaction.
He said they agreed to never speak of it again.
Okay.
This is going on in the vault here. Now, the next morning, the day after Thanksgiving, is a big shopping day.
Especially at the head shop, yeah.
Even at the head shop, it's a big shopping day. So that day, they opened November 29th on Friday morning, and a regular came to the door. They come all the time, and it's locked at a time it should be open. So they're like, what the fuck? Looking, trying to open it, won't open. So they looked through the window and saw a foot on the floor between the counter and the back hallway. That's all they could see was a foot sticking out from behind the counter. Obviously a bad sign.
Right.
So he called the police department, cops came. They had to force their way inside, and they found the scene. I mean, it was not what they expected. Joseph Fleming had injuries consistent with Pollock's account, blood force trauma to the throat, consistent with heavy boot crushing the larynx. It's so hard to say. I want the
larynx.
Larynx. The N is at the end before
right?
the X. YNX.
Yeah, larynx.
But you really want to be before.
Larynx.
Larynx you want it to be. Like two N's, but it doesn't
I've always heard
way.
it larynx.
That's how everybody on earth says it. Except
but
for
it's
if
a
I
larynx.
say it like that, I get 7,000 people fucking messaging me telling me I said larynx wrong. I'm like, I don't care. Am I a fucking doctor? Do I look like I know much about anatomy? I'm a fucking comedian.
We have to
I
tell
don't know.
people all the time that we're not doctors.
The amount of people I have to tell I'm not a doctor or a scientist or a medical examiner or a lawyer is incredible to me. Like,
but
it's wild.
You see people on these 48. They all say larynx.
That's how everybody says it.
They all do it. Why?
They say larynx. It's hard to say because it's just hard to say it the other way. It's harder.
Yeah, I guess. But larynx it makes more sense, doesn't it?
It sounds, I don't know. They both, now they all sound the same in my head. They're all pushed. I don't even know which one's right anymore. It's such a disaster.
But I've seen so many, I've heard people on TV say larynx so many times.
Yeah, that's how it comes out.
Now it feels like that's the right way to say it.
It does.
But I also know it's blood spatter and not blood splatter.
Exactly.
It's fucking gross.
You hear all the time too. But yeah, we're not doctors, lawyers, cops, medical examiners, scientists of any stripe, creed or type. We're just not that.
Yeah.
And it's fun. And you get a pass on this shit. That's the other thing.
Do I?
You could you could say the wrongest shit in the world and everyone's like, "Oh, that's nice." Because they think you're dumb and you're not. Jimmy's not dumb, by the way.
I'm pretty dumb.
You play a dumb guy on TV.
I'm pretty dumb. I mean, I don't know a lot. What I don't know is fucking that.
Oh, it's staggering. But you've put yourself in a sweet spot where you can be as wrong as can be, and people go, what the hell does Jimmy know? It's fine. They act like I think I know. I don't know anything. I'm just as fucking dumb. But you guys act like I know shit, and like you're going to correct me if I'm wrong. I don't know either. I'm just trying my best here. I don't have any fucking idea.
I did somehow jockey myself into the sweetest spot in any business on the planet.
According to every comedian that sees our show, yes. How many times have you been told, if anything happens to you, I'm taking that spot? How many comedians have told you that?
Make sure James calls me.
It's fucking hilarious. I have been told that by people who were dead serious. If anything happens to Jimmy,
I'm the luckiest sumbitch on the planet, man.
I'm in that spot. No, but it's you get to they're like, oh, Jimmy's just he doesn't know, and it's like, no, he knows just as much as me. I'm not saying hold him responsible. I'm saying hold neither of us responsible. That's my
point. We're both dumb. It's okay.
Let us be two dumb comics. That's all. Yeah. Oh man.
So his larynx is crushed.
Anyway. So yeah, that's how that goes. Crushed larynx, all that type of shit. Also a deep single drawing style cut across the throat, consistent with a Bowie knife, slitting someone's throat like Rambo.
One motion,
one shot. Yep.
Yeah.
Defensive wounds on the hands are consistent with a brief struggle. No other significant trauma to the rest of the body. Died of asphyxiation and exsanguination. So choking and bleeding. Order of injuries was throat cut or throat crushed, then throat cut. He was likely conscious for the throat crush and unconscious or dead by the time the knife came out.
Oh, my.
So he's conscious for that. Now, Matthew Trecker, this poor kid, had bruising to the face and scalp consistent with a sucker punch to the head. So we got that. Yeah. Multiple stab wounds to the chest and torso consistent with a single-edged blade of about 4 to 5 inches in length. Partial chopping injuries to the neck consistent with multiple impacts of a moderately blunt edge, like, a sword that's only for decoration. Yeah. Also, so the cause of death is stab wounds to the chest. The chopping injuries were post-mortem, and he wasn't alive when the sword came down. So that's good anyway. Both bodies are in a big pool of their own blood. They're both cold. It's been a while since this happened. The store has been ransacked. The knife display is now empty or almost empty. All the swords are gone. The drawers are open. Looks like a robbery. But nothing else of any monetary value seems to have been taken other than the swords and knives. And they said the cash register was either untouched or they didn't take all of it that was in there. If they took a few bucks and nobody noticed it, but that's it. Otherwise, no, they didn't like empty the shit at all.
They treated it like their mother's purse. You take a 20 and she won't notice.
Hopefully she won't notice. Yeah, she just got paid. So they said the motive looked like a robbery of decorative weapons that got into, obvious bad territory. So the bodies were arranged in the store in a way that suggested that the killers had moved them, probably out of the view of the window is what it was. Because they only saw a foot sticking out of this whole scene. They just didn't notice that foot would be visible probably. So enough that the original positions were preserved, though. You could tell where they went down, though. Pollock said later on that they tried to cover up being there before realizing they couldn't get out of the store.
Yeah.
Basically, they wiped down the surfaces and did all that kind of shit to try to get rid of fingerprints or anything like that. They do find a size 10.5 bloody footprint on the linoleum near the bodies. That's the main thing. That's the only real piece of physical evidence they have of a killer is
That's a problem, though.
That's a problem. That's a big problem. So Matt Schrecker's mom, Christina, and we're going to hear from her multiple times over the course of this here, she told investigators later that morning, before the bodies had been discovered, she didn't know her son was dead yet. No idea. They were somewhere in Farmington. She was. Bobby Fry bumped into her and walked up to her and made small talk with her, knowing whose mother she was.
Knowing what he did to her son.
Yeah, that's right. Obviously, seeing if they've discovered it yet. That's probably what he was doing.
Yeah.
And she's having, how you doing? Oh, fine, blah, blah, blah. Oh, I guess your son's not dead yet.
Tell that boy of yours I said hello.
Yeah,
I will.
She said it was a casual conversation, just, chit-chatting to a guy she met. So this investigation basically goes nowhere. There's a 10.5 shoe print in the blood. That's it. No fingerprints, nothing of that nature. The store's kind of ransacked. Swords and knives are gone.
Yeah.
2 dead people. It just looks like somebody is, attacking. Now, Bobby was on a list of persons of interest because he's a regular at the store and a knife collector. So anybody who was a regular at the store, they talked to first. And people, his own friends, have heard him talk about different murders. And even that murder. He has told his friends that he did this.
What?
Now, they think he's full of shit.
Right.
They think he read about a murder in the newspaper, and I'm the tough guy.
But his friends, oftentimes,
his friends told the cops, and the cops talked to Bobby, and he was like, "No, I was just talking shit." Ask him 100. Ask him 100 other things I said I did that aren't true. And they talked to Pollock, and Pollock said, "I wasn't anywhere near the Eclectic that night." Blah blah blah. We were out looking for a chick, and that was that. There were other suspects, the other people that hang out at the Eclectic, that all had their own. Everybody had about the same amount of motivation here, not much. So
and culpability, I guess, too. Yeah.
Yeah. So they didn't.
They're all weirdos. Yeah.
Exactly. And they were looking at, it's one of those weirdos that hangs out at the store, and they just didn't really pay that much attention to it. So that's it. It's basically the whole thing goes cold.
Yeah.
Very quickly. He would be telling people and bragging at parties and telling anybody that he could tell that, I'm a Navy SEAL and I killed those people at the Eclectic and I killed all these other people. Tells everybody he wants to tell. Nobody believes him. So it's referred to as the headshot murders in the local press. And basically, by the middle of 97, it's a cold case and it's in a file in a drawer, and that's that.
Stop naming them after where it happened.
Yes.
The yogurt shop ones were cold case forever, too.
Forever. That's what happens.
Don't name it that.
Please don't. November 1997, there's a young man who's 18 named Travis Killen. Killen. Killen.
Wow.
He's killing. He should have been a comic. But he's a friend of Bobby Fry's, and he disappears, never to be found again.
Killen disappeared.
Killen is gone. We don't know what happened to him, but he's a friend of Bobby's, and he disappears. So in my head, that's suspicious.
Yeah.
March 31st, 1998, Bobby has a new pal now.
Oh?
And Pollock has tried to edge himself away from him. Yeah, he doesn't really want to be friends with him. He seemed to actually be freaked out by what happened.
He's just busy today.
Yeah, just a little bit. No, I'm still busy, Bobby. Real busy. I got 5 jobs now.
Yeah.
This guy's just getting all these jobs just so Bobby will leave him alone. He's working at McDonald's, doing double shifts. He doesn't
Sleeps
care.
2 hours a day, this guy.
Doesn't matter. Got away from that guy. March 31st, 1998 here. So this is his new pal, Leslie Eng. E-N-G-H, like we said. He's 22 years old. Sometimes in some accounts he's called Lester Eng, but it's Leslie. Now, between 96 and 98, somewhere in here, he made friends with Bobby. Okay? He lives in Kirtland with a K. Kirtland, which is outside Farmington. Born and raised in Farmington, though. Not really, didn't fit in with the clean-cut crowd always. He's a trench coat kid.
They got a clean-cut crowd in Farmington?
The jocks, yeah.
Oh,
they got
okay.
the jocks and they got the nerds and they got, they got those
Every
kids.
team's got a quarterback.
Yeah, it's Baseball Town, USA, remember, Jimmy? So, everybody's got a quarterback no matter what. But he is, and think about when this is. This was the late 90s.
Yeah.
So, he is pre-Columbine trench coat kid, though.
Yeah.
And we all knew the trench coat kid. Go back to I believe it's episode 214 of this show, possibly, which is the one from Fishkill, New York.
Yeah.
Find out about the kids I called Hitler and the A-team in high school who ended up murdering a family.
Yeah.
They were all trench coat kids. Not that there's anything wrong with a trench coat, but I'm just saying there's a certain...
And in the late 90s, there was 10 kids at every school that were the trench coat kids.
They were, and they're a certain type because they weren't just like they weren't goth kids really, or they were kind of without a group, but all the kids that wore trench coats were like into like weaponry shit. They were all like weird, like
they were all knife
paramilitary
kids.
types.
Yeah.
Knives, and they were like talking about guns and shit.
Yeah.
I remember Hitler and the A-Team. That's why I called them that.
The 10 at my school also were into Hackers, that movie, and they all rollerbladed everywhere too.
Oh, Jesus. That's
Imagine
a totally different
that.
crowd.
10 kids in trench coats on rollerblades.
That sounds like something made up for a teen movie. Doesn't it? The kids in my school would never even go near rollerblades, I don't think.
They all gave
would be
each other
too goofy.
nicknames and shit, too.
Oh, God. No, these kids never had time to because I gave them nicknames. If they were going to murder people, I would have been the first fucking one.
Yeah.
Because they would try to like pick on people and try to intimidate people. And I was like, fuck all three of you little fucking bitches. You know what I mean? You're Hitler and the A-Team? Yeah, no.
I've
You're
recently
scumbags.
found out that
Shut up.
a few of the kids have formed a band we're in our fucking 40s, and they play like the lakes around town.
Jesus Christ.
At the marina.
No. What are they forming? They're 40. What are they doing? They're 45
Yeah, I don't
years
know
old.
what they're playing. I don't know what the fuck
are you
they're
doing?
thinking. Yeah, what are you going to do?
Yeah, you're 45. Unless you've,
Stop it.
you can reconstitute the band, but you can't form one.
I think they're just the lake trash, just having a good time, just being lake trash. You know what I mean?
Interesting. Well, anyway, Leslie wears a trench coat. He reads philosophy books all the time.
No?
He got kicked out of Farmington High School for behavioral problems. He's like a Heath Ledger character or some bullshit. That's kind of what he is. Yeah. He went to the local alternative school and got his high school diploma because he's pretty smart. And if you go to the alternative school, you can get by pretty easy in that
Fast.
respect.
Yeah.
Fast.
You can do a year's worth of school in 2 weeks.
Yeah, he basically didn't really have to try to graduate from here. That's how it is.
Sure.
Yeah. So after high school, he moved in with his friends, got a job checking natural gas lines, and then would just do drugs and party in the off time.
Yeah.
Just like a guy from a small town in the middle of New Mexico. So a lot of people work in the natural gas industry up there.
Yeah.
He reads philosophy. He writes poetry.
Reads philosophy
Books, writes poetry. He's a very quiet kid. At one point, this is funny. This is from a Forensic Files episode, and other people have said this too.
Oh, boy.
People describe him as looking, quote, like a baby chicken, which is not a compliment.
What the fuck?
I've seen his picture. I see it. He's kind of fuzzy.
Big eyes.
He's kind of fuzzy-headed. He's a little baby chicken is the best way to put it.
With real big black eyes.
Yeah, he tells you the sky is falling all the time. It's real weird. Baby chicken. You know how it goes. So
it's a specific look.
Very specific.
Yeah.
So Leslie and Bobby are now a new item. They hang out
Baby
together.
Chicken and Baby Huey.
Yep, the two of them together. The babies are chilling. So this night they head out to a bar, okay? This is March 31st, 1998. They head out to the Turnaround Bar.
Yeah.
Turnaround it's on the way out toward the reservation.
Sure.
And basically this night they meet a guy named Donald Tosie. Sosie? Tsosie.
Yeah, it's Josie.
Tosie. He's a 40-year-old man. He's from originally Ganado, Arizona, which I've never heard of. Have you?
Ganado?
Ganado. I think it's on the reservation. He's a Navajo, and he's from. I think he's from the res.
Yeah,
so that would make sense why we've never heard of it. Not a lot of.
Is there an apostrophe in there somewhere?
No apostrophe. No. But he came to Farmington this night to sell plasma.
Oh my, he's really down.
It's down, and the plasma pays like $30 a pop
nothing.
over here.
Yeah, it's nothing.
So it's nothing. But if you have nothing, that's something. $30.
Do you remember our buddy Teddy used to do that like
absolutely
as frequently as they'd let you do it?
He's a comedian, though. That I understood. That's a terrible lifestyle you're living. You should see what he was eating. Forget about it. Nobody would want his plasma.
Selling his plasma.
I know a lot of comics that sold plasma and blood and anything they could sell. Fuck yeah.
God, Jesus.
That's terrible. When you see a guy on stage, they might have sold plasma to be able to keep doing
biological something.
Yeah, absolutely. That's scary. So that's what he did. He came to Farmington to sell plasma, and apparently these plasma centers are a big thing around these areas. That is where people get some money once in a while.
Industry.
Booming. A lot of poverty around here, and they pay cash out the door. So that's it. So Donald is 40 or 41 years old. We're not sure. Basically, Leslie Eng and another person both say that Bobby focused in on Donald Tosie, because, quote, he looked like he had money. How much money could he look like he had?
Good for him to figure out how to look like that.
He blew into town to get $30 for plasma.
Yeah.
Like, what are you doing,
He looks rich
man?
as shit.
Now, by the way, this is a thing and we have to talk about it. In the 70s and 80s, this was formally investigated, a big deal. There was a big local activity, apparently, among the white teenagers and early 20s kids called, quote, Indian rolling.
What?
This is where a bunch of white kids would drive into town and find a drunk person, a drunk native, and beat him up and rob him, basically.
That's fucked up.
It's fucking ridiculous. It's shitty to do that to anybody. Whatever they're. And you see people do that to homeless guys sometimes. It's like, what are you doing? What the fuck is wrong with you people? You know, someone who could fight back at least. So this was a big deal. It's well documented. There was murders in the 70s over this.
Yeah.
What would I say that was terrible?
Somebody can fight back at least.
Well, yeah, at least someone who's drunk and ready to be pushed over. If you want to fuck with someone, fuck with someone. Go find some biker who's on his first beer. Yeah, go find some biker who's on his first beer and try to roll him. You know what I mean?
Find a guy with no shirt with a leather vest and a brand new Budweiser.
You earned his plasma money. Yeah, you earned his plasma money. That's some guy who can barely stand up, for Christ's sake.
I dare you to fuck with that guy.
Yeah, fuck with that guy. That's what I'm saying. Fuck with someone who can fight back. Yeah. So, but this is a big deal, and it's a very known thing in the area, and it's one of those things. And many of Bobby's friends said that Bobby liked to, quote, get drunk and roll Indians. Okay. So that night, Leslie and Bobby offered Donald a ride. Said, hey, we'll give you a ride. And he was 40 years old. He's shit-faced, Donald is, and he is nowhere near his hometown. Yeah. So he said, sure, I'll take a ride. What the hell? So they drive Donald outside of Farmington. They drive south into the canyons around the city, okay? Yeah. Bobby's driving. Leslie Eng is in the back seat. So Donald's in the front. Okay. Eng reaches up from the back seat as Bobby's driving and strangles Donald Tosie from the back.
Oh, God.
Like a fucking mob hit. He said that he did this so Bobby wouldn't get into a car accident trying to kill him from the driver's seat. You know, you can't kill people while you're driving. It's very difficult. You know, driver needs to like open something. You open it for them so they can keep their eyes. They need to kill a man. You just do it for them. You know what I mean?
Take their empty, you re-beer them, and
you re-beer them. You put a new straw in their fruit box and their juice box, and you give it to them. So now that's crazy. So Bobby then pulled the car over on a remote canyon mesa near the Arizona border.
Oh boy!
They dragged Donald from the car, which is obviously, scary here. They drag him from the fucking car here.
He's dead?
Which is they strangled him. He strangled him from the back. So they pull him out. Wow, this is wild shit. And they said that they're, as we'll find out later, they throw him at the bottom of a cliff, basically. About 150 feet down at the bottom of a cliff.
They rolled him off the cliff.
They just tossed him off the cliff.
Oh,
yeah.
boy.
It's fucking horrifying. Wow.
They got nothing out of this?
No, nothing. And by the way, the forensic files really had a ball with this part.
Yeah.
The forensic files had the guys saying, "An Indian, we got one." Which is wild. Like they were in Deadwood or something. I don't know if that's what they were saying, but
they said that's what the reenactment guys said.
The reenactment guys, we got an Indian, we got one. That's the reenactment guys.
Oh boy.
Then that goes until late April 1998 when a hiker in this canyon here. By the way, it's reported either as April 1st or April 29th. We're not sure. But it seems like April 29th is consistent with the reporting of the newspaper, so we'll do that. He discovers a decomposing body at the base of a cliff face, about 150 feet down. The fall had broken the pelvis and several ribs.
Good Lord.
But the skull bore trauma not consistent with the fall, blunt force injuries from blows administered before the fall.
Huh?
There were also pointy sticks at the scene with blood on them.
Okay.
Poor Donald had eye socket injuries consistent with having a sharpened stick being poked into them.
Oh, what the fuck?
They were stabbing him in the eyes with sharp sticks.
After they threw him off?
Before,
what the fuck? Why would they do that?
They beat him and stuck sticks in his eyes. I don't know what the purpose of that would be other than they're sick fucks.
Yeah.
Now, there's no wallet on him. The pockets he's been completely gone through.
Sure.
But he's wearing boots. And inside of the boots, written in pen, is a name.
Oh.
They're his boots. It's Donald Tosey's boots.
Sure.
So they're like, okay, that's at least a lead of where
this name, yeah.
And he could have bought him at Goodwill. We don't know, but
yeah,
it might be his. They find the blood-soaked sticks, broken broomstick fragments, and a shovel handle impression in the dirt, like someone had left a shovel, laid it down. Yeah. Okay. There were tire tracks, but they couldn't really compare it to anything. Mm-hmm. There were footprints also. So within a couple of weeks, fingerprints from Donald's hand confirm his identity. His family was notified. They opened the investigation. It goes cold very quickly.
Real quick.
Real quick. They have nothing whatsoever. May 29th, 1998, there's a man, 22-year-old named Pernell, Tewanganatua.
Oh, that is a native man.
Yeah, Tewanganitewa. Yep,
I'm not going to even consider
that's a tough one.
Yeah, not a chance.
He knew Bobby Fry, Bobby Fry. He knew Bobby. He was last seen May 29th leaving the Gators Bar in Farmington, where Fry was a bouncer.
Oh,
Fry is considered the last person to see him alive. He just disappears off the face of the earth.
Okay.
We don't find him. We don't know. So that's the second person that's close to Bobby that knows him, that was in proximity to him when they disappeared, that no one ever found again.
Wow.
Okay. So time goes by. Both of these are cold investigations. No one's looking at Bobby. Nothing at all. He keeps getting shit-faced every night, getting shitty jobs that he does, playing Dungeons and Dragons, and keeps telling people that he's killed all these people. All this type of shit. He's got a shitty Ford Aspire.
Yeah.
It's not good. He keeps hanging out with Leslie Eng, who must have enjoyed doing this type of thing
Certainly,
because he keeps hanging out with him. Pollock isn't hanging out with him anymore. Okay. Pollock said he was avoiding Bobby because he didn't want to be around him. He said that being around Bobby is dangerous, and he didn't know when it would.
Bobby makes you an accomplice.
Quickly.
Yeah.
And he said he thought he was escalating and getting more, and he didn't want any part of it anymore.
Yeah.
So June 6th, 2000, Bobby. He's 26 years old now. He's out drinking with Leslie Eng, who is 22 at this point. Okay. They're out drinking at a bar. After the bar closes, they go to a nearby restaurant, which for some reason is open later than the bars.
Yeah, what the fuck is that about?
It's weird. I could see like a Denny's, but this place has booze they're still serving apparently, which means it's odd. Bobby gets into an argument with another customer at the restaurant because he's Bobby and he's drinking.
Yeah.
Bobby goes out to his car and comes back in wearing a jacket.
Oh.
Here we go. Witnesses and everybody there basically saw a bulge under the jacket. Uh-huh. And Bobby leans into one of his friends and says, quote, "I have an 8-inch Bowie knife and I'm going to stick somebody tonight." That's what he says. Yeah. Now, his friends that haven't done murders with him are like, "Oh boy, yeah, right, you are." He's trying to feel like a big man. So at that point, Bobby and Leslie Eng left the restaurant in Bobby's Ford Aspire to go to a convenience store for cigarettes. Nice. Okay. Now, outside the 7-Eleven is a woman on a payphone crying.
Oh?
Making calls, hanging up, crying, at the payphone crying. So this is Betty Jean Lee is her name, Lee. She's 36 years old. She's a member of the Navajo Nation as well.
Yeah.
She's from Shiprock. Remember you mentioned that earlier, about 25 miles west of Farmington on the edge of the reservation. Yeah. She's 36-year-old, divorced mother of 5.
And not having a good night.
Having a bad night. And we'll find out. Her friends kind of suck, as we'll talk about here. She's a nursing student, by the way.
Oh.
Going to college for nursing currently. She likes gardening. She likes gathering herbs for cooking, stuff like that. Nice lady is basically what she is. She's got a brother. Whenever she needs a ride somewhere, she knows she can call her brother at any time. Her brother will give her a ride, basically. Sure. So that night, June 6th, Betty went out with 2 of her girlfriends. Now, we'll call them Gloria and Tina. Okay. That's what the book called them. So anyway, you got Tina, you got Gloria, and you got Betty Lee here. They went to the Turnaround Bar in Farmington, familiar spot by now.
Heard about it,
Now, at the Turnaround, her friends Tina and Gloria met a couple of guys.
Oh.
Strangers.
Yeah.
Okay. One, by the way, called himself Johnny Miller, which is what you tell women when you don't want to give them your real name.
Yeah.
He was probably worked for the electric company. He's married. He's here for a couple nights.
He's on per diem.
I'm on per diem. My room's gross, but y'all can come back to it. The other, basically, they can't remember his name. Now, they decided, Tina and Gloria said, we're going to leave the bar with these 2 guys and go to a motel. Which is fucked up if you came with 3 women and you're like, you're on your own. We're going to go fuck these 2 guys in this hotel.
Yeah, you can't do that.
That's fucked up. Yeah, you can't. You
came
cannot.
together, you leave together.
Ladies, you come together, you leave together. You can't do this shit and leave this woman all by herself. That's crazy. Unless you put her in a fucking taxi and whatever.
Or
that's
get
crazy.
her home and then
drop her off on the way to the motel. Yeah. But he said, no, we're going to the motel. So Betty is fucked, and she's 25 miles from home.
Oh, Jesus.
She's got nowhere to go, and it's midnight.
She lives in Shiprock.
Yeah, she's 25 miles away, and now she's got no friends, no nothing. So she walks to a payphone at the 7-Eleven trying to call her brother. She calls him over and over again. He doesn't answer. Mm-hmm. So she starts crying. Now she's completely stranded and fucked, basically.
Right.
So she starts crying, and it's at that point Bobby and Leslie pull up in the Ford Aspire.
Jesus.
Bobby pulls up and says, I hate to see a woman cry. Yeah. At least if, I haven't caused it. I hate it. If I caused it, great. But that's what he said to her. I hate to see a woman cry. Mm-hmm. And she's crying and all that. And so he offers her, I'll give you a ride. He goes, why not? I'll give you a ride. And he seems nice. He's a big guy, seems friendly, says he hates to see a, lady, hates to see a woman cry.
It's not fun to watch.
He motions to his turquoise blue Ford Aspire and says, I can take you as far as Kirtland. I mean, that's something,
if the car will make it.
I mean, it's a Ford Aspire, so
it'll get about 900 miles to the gallon, though.
Yeah, I mean, I'll get you there. I've had the same tank of gas since '94. I mean,
I ain't filled it up since I bought it. Shit.
She thinks about it, and she doesn't have anybody left to call.
Yeah.
Her sister's watching her kids, and her sister had told her, please don't be too late coming to get the kids.
What a lifeline. Yeah.
She told her sister, I've just been so busy with school. I just need to get out. Just please watch them just for one night so I can do this and whatever. And then she sees at this point, it's almost 2:15 a.m. And she's like, oh shit, I'm going to be in trouble here with my sister. Yeah. So she says, okay, thank you. I'll take a ride. It's at that point, a blonde man who looks like a baby chicken walks out of the 7-Eleven.
Yeah.
Packing a pack of smokes there on his hand.
Yeah.
And he opens up the pack there, feathers one over to Bobby.
Yeah. And
then offers one to Betty as well. And Bobby says, this is Leslie, and I'm Bobby.
Yeah.
Sounds great. They've offered to give you a ride. They've given you a cigarette, and they seem friendly, and they're introducing themselves.
Their name. Yeah.
They all walk to the car. She says, my name's Betty, and they're all happy. So she climbs in after Leslie. Leslie gets in the passenger seat. She climbs in, and she said she can see, everything happening. Bobby lights a cigarette, and they start driving away. Mm-hmm. Okay. Apparently, at some point, she rolled down the window. I think she's in the front seat. They roll down the window, to feel some air. Now, also, a clerk at the convenience store heard a man fitting Bobby's description offer a ride to a woman fitting Betty's description.
Sure.
And also said there was a blonde kid, looked like a chicken. It was weird. He was there as well.
Chicken face.
They all drove away in a car. Uh-huh. So Bobby starts driving down an isolated dirt road. Mm-hmm. Okay, now, if any woman out there, if you're in a car with two male strangers and they've just turned down an isolated dirt road, your spidey senses are fucking tingling hard here. Okay. So they drive for a good few minutes through the darkness, and there's nothing there. So Leslie is in the back seat. She starts to feel a little bit uncomfortable, as one would, even if they've been drinking a little bit. Finally, Bobby stops the car, and he turns and says, I got to take a piss. So stops the car and gets out. What she does is decide, this is my only chance.
Yeah.
This guy's in the back seat. He can't do shit. That guy's over there pissing. She fucking swings the door open and jumps out of the car.
Starts running
back toward the highway. Unfortunately, they're 5 minutes down an isolated dirt road.
Yeah.
They're nowhere
That's
near
a long
anything.
Run.
And she hears Bobby screaming, hey, come back. What are you doing? Hey, come back. So then they get in the car and they pull up next to her.
Yeah.
And Bobby says, where are you going? I told you I'd give you a ride, didn't I? What are we doing here?
Yeah.
Said, what the fuck? Get back in the car. What are you doing? Like, are you crazy or something?
What the hell's going on?
So she looked out. She's in the middle of the desert. What the hell is she supposed to do? So she gets back in the car. She's like, well, I'm stuck out here. I can't do that. So she realizes I'm kind of fucked here. So she gets back in the passenger side, and Bobby's like laughing, like, what are you, crazy? Like trying to make it real friendly. Like, this is okay, whatever. I mean, hey, I get it, but
don't
I just
treat
had
me
to
like
piss.
a weirdo.
Yeah, like what the fuck? So they drive a short distance back down the dirt road, and then he stops the car again. Okay. He gets out and starts going around. Now, she tries to get out as well, but he's like there at the door before she can even get out.
Right.
He grabs her by the hair and pulls her out of the car.
Oh, boy.
This is terrifying. He's trying to get her down on the ground. He's wrestling with her. He tells Leslie to hold her legs while I get her clothes off.
Oh, Jesus.
Jesus Christ. So she's struggling. He's got his 8-inch Bowie knife.
Yeah.
He sticks it in her chest. It only goes in about 2 inches, though.
That's far enough.
Which is far, but not far enough to kill you. So it penetrated the breastbone and the heart sac, but did not pierce the heart.
Oh, my God.
That close, okay? Now, she's a fighter, Betty. She's not going down easy, obviously.
Yeah.
She pulls the knife out of her chest and throws it toward a ravine.
Wow.
Which is, I think you start swinging that motherfucker is what you do. You pull it out and you
hang
start.
on to it, yeah.
Let's go. Get close to me. I dare you. Start swinging it like a maniac. Just windmill that shit.
Yeah.
Screaming.
Like a lawnmower.
Yeah, just, that would be that's the best way to be safe in that moment.
Yeah.
People are just they're going to give you 3 feet. You know what I mean? But she's just trying to get away, fighting for her life. Right. She just takes it and throws it so they can't stab her more, which is crazy. She tries to run away again.
Oh, boy.
She gets up, tries to run away, but they catch up to her and tackle her and remove her shirt and pants now.
Oh, boy.
Leslie goes to look for the knife also. Got to have that. So at that point, she tried to run again.
She got up again. She's
trying to get away. She's fighting. She's fighting. So this is wild. Then Bobby goes to the car and gets a 10-pound sledgehammer out. And comes over while Leslie's wrestling with her and smashes her in the back of the head.
Good God.
At least 3 and up to 5 times.
Oh, my God.
Huge 10-pound sledgehammer. Disgusting. Just terrible.
Yeah.
Then Bobby and Leslie drag Betty's body into the bushes by the ravine. Okay. And they also kicked articles of her clothing off the road into the dirt on the side of the road, which is where we found them in the beginning of the story.
Okay.
At 4 a.m., as he's trying to leave, they're all done with the murder now. They've dragged her into the bushes. Bobby gets his car stuck in the soft sand.
Because it's a Ford Aspire.
Yeah. And they call Bobby's parents, Gloria and James Fry, who are asleep at home. They get a call at 4 a.m. By the way, they believe the call that he made was using Gloria's county-issued cell phone for her job.
Oh, my God.
Okay. So they said, can you come pick us up? We're out near a dirt road by the Twin Mounds.
Yeah.
The car's stuck. So they show up in a pickup truck, which also gets stuck in the soft sand.
Shit.
Son of a bitch. So now they're like, what the fuck do we do here? We're all fucked. So what they do is, and by the way, they're all standing feet
away
from where
from a
they
body.
just put a body.
Yeah.
With mom and dad. Okay. Yeah. So this is fucking crazy. Now, here's a different thing. There's 2 different versions of what happened here. One is the forensic files and one is from the Albuquerque Journal newspaper. Yeah. So whichever one is right. But the forensic files version says that all 3 of the vehicles, the Aspire, the pickup, and the tow truck all got stuck.
Oh.
Ultimately, the owner of Bloomfield Towing, Charlie Bergen, the guy with the phone from the beginning, had to come out and pull all 3 of them out.
Got it.
That's one story. But the Albuquerque Journal reports that they reported that Gloria and James Fry, the parents, didn't initially get stuck. Okay. They pulled up, got Bobby out, and drove Bobby home so he could change clothes, clean up, and drive Leslie Eng home. And then they went out separately to the desert again to retrieve the Aspire.
So mom and dad were definitely out there post-murder anyway.
Either once or twice. That's the only thing we don't know.
And these 2 men that just stabbed and bludgeoned a woman they had to have had blood on them, right?
They're covered in blood.
How do these people not?
That's the point.
The fuck?
What the fuck? Now, this account also has the truck getting stuck on the second trip out instead of the first trip. Either way, kind of irrelevant.
Yeah.
Kind of academic at this point.
This is a lot of time after the murder, too.
Oh, so much time. So they go home. Bobby cleans up, fresh clothes, and gets dropped off at his place. Gloria and James go to whatever, get retrieve the car and everything like that. We have Charlie Bergen either dragging 2 or 3 vehicles out of the soft sand, depending on whichever there. Either way, Charlie Bergen saw Bobby, saw Leslie, saw the Ford Aspire. He didn't know what was going on, but then later on, he figured it out because he dropped his cell phone while he's doing all this. If he didn't drop his cell phone,
We have
the
nothing.
cops have
We have nothing.
Ugats.
Yeah.
Nothing. The fact that he dropped his cell phone was the only connection they had to go on.
Also
so they
insane that this man dropped his cell phone within fucking feet of a murder.
Of a body.
Of a murdered body.
Yep.
And had nothing to do with it. That's the first
Not a-
time that's ever happened.
That's what I mean. That's what they were like. Well, we got our suspect. Here he is.
It's always that guy.
And he's like, yeah, I was out there towing. Sure.
Yeah.
Thanks for finding my phone. And they're like, hold on a minute here.
Love to have it back.
Yeah. So Bobby and Leslie, either way, they got home before sunrise, changed their clothes, did all that shit. Bobby threw the bloody black T-shirt and his work boots just into a pile in his bedroom, just on the floor there. No, that's how much he was so confident he'd get away with this. Then he went to sleep.
They never talked to him ever. May as well.
Yeah. So that same day is when the electrical line inspector finds the body that we talked about here, being a little too curious. Now, the evidence that they find here is way different than the Tosi crime scene here. That was like in the desert, no DNA, no preservation. It was there for a month. He was there for a month. The Eclectic scene had been cleaned up evidence and shit like that. This was totally different. Fresh body, still warm, blood everywhere, 3 sets of footprints. Fresh tire tracks, a still bloody knife off in the bushes, a still bloody sledgehammer near the road, articles of women's clothing that belonged to the victim on the side of the road. I mean, this is a different story.
It's
here.
messy, and it's messy because the man drives a Ford Aspire, and
It's gonna be
Aspires
messy.
are going to do Aspire things.
They're going to aspire to do something. If you see anybody with 3 different tires, that is a window into their soul.
It's probably a Ford Aspire.
It's a window into their soul. They have mismatched shit going on in their brain. That's what's
That
going
is
on.
a life of chaos.
Yep. Or they're very poor, which either way, that is a life of chaos.
Chaos, yeah.
But you can't help at that point.
Can't.
They've been there. Now, the body, they figure out, is Betty Jean Lee. She'd been stabbed in the chest and bludgeoned in the head. Jesus. So chest stab was a contributing factor, not the cause. The blunt force head trauma is the cause. 3 sets of shoe impressions at the scene, 1 belonging to the victim, meaning there's at least 2 assailants as well. 3 different tire treads, meaning there's mismatched tires and somebody's a mess. So they find the cell phone and all that kind of thing. So it's 2 p.m., June 7th. They have a body, a name, an autopsy going on, a knife, a sledgehammer with prints and DNA on them, mind you.
Oh, boy.
3 vehicles worth of tire tracks, a cell phone belonging to a guy who has business records that will link them to why he was there
trouble.
with Bobby Fry. First thing they did here, they called Charles Bergen. Like I said, they found out all of that. It's an Aspire, blah, yada, yada, Bobby Fry and Leslie Ng. So by the afternoon of June 7th, they're on their way to the Bobby Fry house with a search warrant at this point. By that afternoon. Okay.
That's amazing.
That
That
is
tow
fast.
truck really fucked his life.
It fucked his entire... If he doesn't get stuck in that sand, nobody knows a goddamn thing.
Wow.
This guy keeps on killing for God knows how long, because otherwise it seems like they're pretty inept around here. They don't seem to really be doing much well. So they search Bobby's home. They find a pair of work boots, size 10.5, with visible blood on them.
Okay.
They're like, all right, well, that's exactly what we're looking for. Couldn't possibly have anything more with blood on it. I mean, a shirt you throw out, but shoes you keep. You're wearing
Have
them
you
on your
got
feet.
some pants? Anything?
Well, a black T-shirt crumbled in a pile of laundry in his room with visible blood on it. So that's interesting. Oh, by the way, the boots are consistent with the shoe impressions at the scene. And that's nice. And also, witnesses describe him as wearing a black T-shirt the night of the killing before he left the bar and everything. That's not good. The car, which is sitting in the driveway, has blood on the steering wheel, blood on the passenger side door interior, blood on a flashlight in the glove compartment, and a single earring on the floor of the passenger side that does not belong to any female in the Fry household.
Uh-oh.
Okay. That does belong to Betty Lee.
Yeah, to Betty, yeah.
Yep. There's so much blood. There's blood. Everything's got fucking blood on it.
There's blood
basically.
everywhere.
Yeah. Interesting. So they said that the blood on the knife and sledgehammer and the car, the shirt, the shoes, and flashlight all match DNA samples from Betty Lee.
Uh-oh.
So in addition, they seize a pair of black sneakers belonging to Leslie Eng with blood on them that also matches Betty Lee's DNA. There is a blood spatter expert that will say that the Bobby shirt and shoes and Leslie Eng's shoes indicated that while many of the blood stains on the shirt and shoes were created by medium velocity impact spatter from a blunt instrument striking a blood source in front of the person wearing the shirt and shoes, Eng's shoes contained only low velocity transfer stains and no spatters or projection type stains. Based on the blood stains as well as the spatter stains on the sledgehammer, the expert says that the person wearing the clothes with the spatter, that is Bobby in his black T-shirt and shoes, was leaning over the victim and repeatedly striking the source of blood with a sledgehammer, whereas the person wearing the shoes without the spatter did not strike the victim with the sledgehammer.
He's getting cast off.
He's getting cast off just from the hardness of him smashing her.
Jesus.
A witness, by the way, because they take knives, one of the knives at the scene, the 8-inch Bowie knife, they take it around to places to see if anybody knows of this knife. Did you sell this knife? Yeah. And somebody said they sharpened it for a kid named Bobby Fry about a week ago. I know that knife. Interesting. And the tire tracks, if it wasn't enough, the tread on the 3 different treads were determined to be consistent with all 3 of the different tire treads on his car as well. Couldn't be worse for him.
No.
Leslie, by the way, we said with his spatter and all that kind of deal. Now, by the way, they also said Leslie Eng's bedroom walls were, quote, papered in violent and gory images.
Okay. He's got a lot of Guar posters.
Who gives a shit? So the police talk to Bobby. This is the day after the murder. He tells them, I don't know what you're talking about. I wasn't wearing a black T-shirt and I wasn't wearing those boots. I don't know shit. I don't know anything. And then he just stopped talking. He just wouldn't speak again for the rest of the interrogation.
Okay, well.
First smart thing he's done.
He's got some shit to explain, though, doesn't he?
Not if you don't want to.
Yeah, I guess take me to trial then.
Just says, I have a right to remain silent. Fuck off. That's it. And they, okay, you're under arrest then, stupid. The victim's DNA is all over you, dummy. Yeah. What are you going to do? So now Eng is brought in. He sits down and basically immediately broke. He was quickly.
The baby chicken couldn't handle the stress, James?
Couldn't do it. It's a long interrogation, but it's because he's giving all the details. Oh. He gives the location, Bobby's role, his own role. He said that, and he even confessed, this is horrible, man. He said that he could hear Betty making gurgling sounds and making sounds for some time after Bobby finished swinging.
Oh, fuck.
He used the word begging, like she was begging for her life. We're not sure, but they think basically her brainstem was producing reflexive sounds. That's probably it. She was probably already dead. You make sounds sometimes after you're dead still. They said the sounds were probably involuntary, but in Eng's mind, they were begging, which should haunt this asshole, I would hope.
I hope so, forever.
The police, by the way, Eng keeps talking, and they get a bonus murder.
Oh.
Because he's like, we killed somebody else, too. And they're like, did you now?
Is that right?
Donald Tosi got him, too. Okay. Yep, he told them everything. The turnaround, we jacked him for plasma money, the shovel, the broomstick. So they know he's telling the truth because he's talking about poking.
He doesn't know that they've got nothing.
No, he has no idea.
He has no idea that this is a cold case and they've got nothing.
He just starts spilling it. He just starts doing like fucking Chunk and Goonies. Yeah. And then I did this in the 3rd grade, and then I threw up and I blamed it on my brother. That's what he just starts doing. I'll admit to everything. I don't care. Just don't hurt me. Tells him we pushed him off the cliff, gives the details of stabbing in the eyes that only the killers could have known. Oh. And they said, well, why did you do this? Why did Bobby do this? And he said, well, he said Donald had cash and looked drunk, and Bobby liked to roll Indians. So that's what we do. He gave them all of that shit. So they're both arrested, obviously.
Yeah.
Now, the charges for Betty Lee, for Bobby at least, are first-degree murder, kidnapping, attempted criminal sexual penetration, and tampering with evidence. Not good. Not good. Then Harley Pollock comes in here, and they arrest him as well. He's arrested on June 8th. Now, he wasn't involved in these murders,
No.
but they get him. He's not arrested. I'm sorry. He's reading the paper on June 8th and sees Bobby Fry got arrested for murder. And he's like, he must have freaked the fuck out at that point. So late 2000, few months later, Pollock there finally goes to the cops.
Yeah.
He goes to the cops. He contacts investigators. He asked for immunity, saying he had information.
Hi, I'm Harley. I got a story to tell.
Which is not, I stabbed a guy a bunch of times, which is what he did. He came in and gave the first version of the story where he came out of the bathroom and he's a passive bystander and Bobby killed Joe and Matthew alone. But they were like, listen, stupid.
Yeah.
When you're ready to admit the rest, we'll talk to you more. Otherwise, go sit in a fucking jail cell. So eventually, over a series of statements over months, he gave the second version which is probably the truth, where he came and did the
If he's got
stabbing.
immunity.
He doesn't, by the way. No. The version has the samurai sword and chopping wood. It's all that shit. It lines up with the evidence much better.
Right.
So now his statements will be sealed under his immunity arrangement at first, but then in 2004, he's going to have problems and it'll be unsealed. We'll get to that.
Oh, shit.
So Eng flips as well. Eng pleads guilty to first-degree murder and kidnapping, and he must testify against Bobby at trial. That's part of it. So Bobby here, he's suspected in others too. The San Juan County Sheriff's Detective Tyler Truby tells the press that he's also a suspect in the Pernell Tewanganatewa murder and Travis Killen as well.
Right.
They said, quote, Fry cannot be ruled out as the suspect in those two killings. There's also an unidentified woman found near the Animas River in 1997 that was never solved. There's also a stabbing victim found in a Farmington alley during that same time.
Yeah.
And none of them have been tied to Bobby because they don't have any evidence to tie him to Bobby, but they all seem like shit Bobby would do.
Oh, boy.
They said, the detective said, in fact, he would definitely meet the criteria of a serial killer, adding that the FBI will make that determination in the end. But if I had to say, is he a serial killer? He's a fucking serial killer.
He's certainly got a lot of problems.
Period.
Yeah.
I would fucking say, yeah. And he's done at least 3 separate acts now. It's a serial killer. That's what that is.
Very little benefit out of
cool down time.
Yeah. And very little benefit
killing.
out of any of them except for the actual act of murder.
And he's drunk every time, too.
Yeah.
It's another thing to look at. Now, Christina Trecker, Matthew's mother, blames the cops.
Really?
Yeah. She said law enforcement made a serial killer out of this fucking guy by not arresting him. She said, quote, he wouldn't have been a serial killer if they would have arrested him 48 hours after he killed Matt.
Right.
Which is, can't argue that.
Yeah.
All those people would be alive, but they had no evidence. 2002 trial for Betty Lee. Death penalty firmly on the table here.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Now, the federal prosecutor here, wants to introduce testimony which claims that Bobby Fry told people he hated Indians, quote unquote.
All right.
The defense attorney objected in court saying, quote, they just want to portray Mr. Fry as a mean redneck. Yeah, that lines up. Yeah, that's what he is. I would call him a mean redneck.
The problem?
That's a good way to put it. Yeah, what are we talking about here? They just want to portray Jimmy as a guy with a beard and glasses. It's strange.
What's the problem?
Weird. So the prosecution's case is Bobby Fry kidnapped Betty from a payphone with the intent to commit a sexual assault, attempted to commit that sexual assault, killed her in the course of the attempt, and then tampered with the evidence afterwards. Yes. Those are the charges. Yeah. The aggravating circumstance offered for the death penalty was murder committed with an intent to kill in the commission of a kidnapping. So they bring in the convenience store clerk who saw the encounter at the payphone and placed both he and Eng with Betty. Also, a friend at the restaurant who heard Bobby say he was going to stick somebody tonight with his blade. Another guy who sharpened the Bowie knife for Bobby a week before the killing. And Charlie, the tow truck driver, who identifies both of them as the guys he pulled from the sand at 4 o'clock in the morning.
Right.
This is not good, all of this. Then they bring in the blood spatter expert, Ron Englert, who is a retired Portland area detective or deputy who had built a second career as a leading blood stain pattern analyst.
Right.
So he testified by 2002, he had testified in 300 cases across 25 states.
Oh.
He takes the stand and said there's medium velocity spatter, which happens when a hard object strikes a wet blood source, tiny droplets, aerosolize back at the swinger. Low velocity transfer, which happens when blood touches fabric incidentally without high energy impact.
Sure.
So he talks about all of these shirts. He said that Bobby had the black shirt and the work boots and they had the other guy's tennis shoes. And they talked about what we talked about before, that Bobby's shoes, based on the spatter in his shirt, means that he repeatedly was swinging that over his head.
Yeah.
And they said not with Leslie, though. They bring up Leslie Eng. He testifies.
Really?
He fucking spills it all, too. The defense cross-examines him really hard, calling him a self-interested liar who had to cut a deal to save his own life.
Right.
Like you would. It's, every co-conspirator they do that with. The defense, their theory and what they're putting forward is that Eng did it all by himself and was framing Bobby.
Oh.
They said, well, what about the blood spatter then?
Yeah.
And he said the analysis was flawed.
Yeah, it doesn't sound right to me.
That's all. It's fake. Yeah. They said the DNA, sure, that's not great. You're right. But it doesn't place Bobby as the swinger of the sledgehammer. Yeah, he was there, but he wasn't the killer.
Okay.
That's their story. The defense brings in its own blood spatter expert who disagrees with some particulars, but really doesn't challenge the central theme of he has the higher velocity shit and he's there. The verdict comes in. Guilty of everything.
Got him.
First-degree murder, kidnapping, attempted sexual penetration, and tampering with evidence.
Okay.
Sentencing comes around here. Okay. The state brings in 4 witnesses for victim impact testimony. Betty Lee's brother, 2 of her sisters, and her minor daughter at the time.
Oh, Jesus.
Yes, we will definitely not give her name. They wanted to hide it then, so we really want to hide it now. Yeah. So the brother here described Betty Lee. He described her as a sister who left Shiprock to study nursing. He described her as a divorced mother of 5 who wanted to come back to the reservation and serve as a nurse and help the people.
Oh, my gosh. She was going to come back and practice medicine on the reservation. What an angel.
That's why she was going to do it. Yeah. He described her as, gardening, and he said that she tried to call him from the payphone and was unable to reach him. 2 sisters, I'm sure he said, I feel terrible
every day
about
for the
that.
rest
Yeah,
of his
every
life
day.
About it. Yeah.
Because his ringer wasn't loud enough,
right. Because he was asleep at 2:30 in the morning, and phones don't oftentimes wake you up.
That's what happens. Yep. So the 2 sisters talked about Betty Lee and say that they grew up with her, and now her kids have to grow up without her. And Betty Lee's daughter also made a statement here, saying how horrible it is to lose my mother. Obviously,
I can't imagine.
Can't imagine. So. Basically, the legal question, did the aggravating circumstances, which is kidnapping with intent to kill, outweigh any mitigating circumstances offered by the defense? Now, I don't know what mitigating circumstances he could possibly have here.
Right.
Think about it. What does he have? He's not he doesn't have a 68 IQ.
No.
He wasn't tortured as a child. He was
but I did see ketchup smeared on some people.
Thank you. I was hoping you would catch on to that. That's exactly
what ketchup.
That's what they talk about.
Yeah.
He saw ketchup when he was 3.
Yeah, I can't even use Heinz anymore.
I can't do it. I only eat hot dogs and only with mustard.
I skipped that aisle at the grocery store. Can't even get peanut butter and jelly. Same aisle.
Same aisle. It's all there, babe. Salad dressing. I've had dry lettuce for the last 20 years.
I've never had ranch.
I don't know what it is. It looks good on the commercials, but I don't know.
I've heard white girls love it on pizza.
That's what I hear. So a psychologist testifies that Bobby, given a life sentence, would be statistically very unlikely to commit further violence.
Okay.
He put the probability of violence against other inmates at less than 10%, and the probability of violence against guards at less than 1%.
Oh.
So this is a risk assessment thing that they try to put on here. Standard.
It's going to be great.
Crap.
Yeah.
It's all good. You put him in there, you don't have to worry about him forever.
He's going to
Lock
thrive.
him up, throw away the kid.
You don't have to kill him. He'll thrive.
They also they have actuarial tables, clinical, all sorts of these crazy things here. So the jury, basically they're saying if we lock him up forever, it'll be all good. You don't have to worry about him. The prosecution does not cross-examine psychologists heavily on the methodology. The state's judgment was the jury is, not deciding whether he's dangerous. He fucking kidnapped with intent to kill. That's what we're talking about here.
I don't care if he's dangerous to other inmates. He was dangerous as fuck.
As fuck. So they definitely bring up the ketchup incident. That's a big deal, There's also a pastor.
Oh.
And they tried to pull this shit with Corey Richards and her sentencing too. They read a letter from a pastor in jail who says she tries to help inmates come to the churches and find Jesus. I don't give a fuck if she's helping them find M&Ms, Jesus, fucking whoever you want, Buddha. It doesn't matter. What the fuck difference does that make? How does that mean, they're a good person?
Right.
I don't understand why that makes them a good person. It's ridiculous that we equate that. So fucking stupid.
Yeah, it's and the way that that person is convicted of a crime, the crime that person's convicted of is fucking wild.
Yes, if she was,
I don't give
a
shit what she's done.
If she was that into Jesus, maybe she shouldn't have done that shit. I don't know. So the pastor testifies that Bobby has grown spiritually in prison.
Okay.
He also read aloud letters from two of Bobby's sisters describing his childhood, the babysitter, the ketchup, the bullying, forcing to be switched from left to right-handedness.
Right.
The volunteer fire department, the dying accident victim, all of it. It just was too much for him. He described Bobby as he goes to Bible study in prison and has conversations with Bobby about repentance. And letters describe Bobby as a young man whose darker tendencies had been visible from childhood, but whose family had loved him through them. The letters describe the babysitter incident, the bullying, volunteer fire, all that stuff. The pastor was convinced that Bobby has found God in jail and convinced that given a life sentence, he'd be a genuine penitent for the rest of his days.
30 years
he
old.
will be sitting there just saying his sorrows, saying his sorries every goddamn day.
Drag the tin cup across the bars.
That's right. Gloria testifies, his mother, about just, don't kill my son.
Yeah.
His father, James, asked the jury for mercy, saying, don't kill him so we can keep visiting him.
Oh.
The defense plays a videotape from the maximum security wing of the penitentiary of New Mexico depicting the conditions that he'll face as a lifer.
Uh-huh.
Look at how shitty this place is.
Okay.
You really want to fuck with him, put him in there forever.
Okay.
You're giving him an out if you kill him. The argument was it's worse than death in there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Bobby speaks as well. He apologized to Betty Lee's family, admitted what he did. He didn't admit it out loud, but he said, I did this and I'm sorry and it was horrible. At least he gave him that much.
Yeah.
And he asked the jury to please spare his life for the sake of his loving parents.
Oh, he's afraid to die.
For the sake of his parents.
Yeah.
Now, before in sentencing here, the trial judge talks to the jury and instructs them that under New Mexico's current parole math, a life sentence for first-degree murder plus the other consecutive sentences in this case would mean Bobby would not be eligible for release for 67 years.
Oh.
Which would be over to the age of 90.
Okay.
So basically, if you give him life, he will die in prison. He ain't getting out ever.
Right. Yeah.
Unless he's 100 years old, unless medical technology comes a real long way in the next couple of years. They said he will die inside. And the jury says, okay, that's great. And then they return a verdict. You, sir, may fuck off, death penalty. They didn't give a fuck. They were like, good.
He'll die in there? Let's make it as fast as we can.
Oh, he'll die in there for sure, they said. Yeah.
You bet he will.
So the prosecution here was talking about this and said there's no motive or no past acrimony. He just kills people, and apparently he enjoys killing people.
That's what it sounds like.
Yeah, he just likes this. There's no other explanation for it. $30 from plasma is not enough to kill someone over. Now, his mom, Gloria Fry, is in some trouble, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah, a coalition of local victim advocates delivered a 250-signature petition to the San Juan County government demanding that she be removed from her position. Remember,
Oh,
she's
'cause she's in the
probation
parole,
misdemeanor person. The petition cited the cell phone, her car at the crime scene, meaning her truck was at the crime scene. And by the way, that was a county-issued vehicle that ended up at the crime scene, the truck.
She drove the county truck?
To go pick up her son who was using the county phone, allegedly and apparently.
Oh, my God.
That's not good. So they said that she showed up later on, by the way, when the officers were still processing the crime scene. She showed up at some point. That's according to the report, though. She was, as per the early reporting, allegedly trying to find her son, which doesn't make sense because she had already taken him home.
Yeah.
So I don't know how that worked, unless she took him home and then he disappeared again. I don't know. She said she drove to the scene because she had heard or suspected that he was in some kind of trouble there, got out of the car. Per multiple officers present, the deputies were still photographing the body location and bagging evidence. Don't know if that's true or not. Don't know. But that's in the documents of the petition and everything. On June 7th, 2002, she is fired.
Yeah.
So that's it for Gloria. Now, Leslie Eng pleaded guilty to first-degree murder and kidnapping in the Donald Tosi and Betty Lee cases. His negotiated sentence was, you, sir, may fuck off, 40 years.
That's it.
That's it, which is against the state's recommendation. They asked for more.
Yeah.
40. That is, wow. So they go to trial for Donald now as well. Eng testifies, Bobby Fry, just the same shit. Used to roll Indians after getting drunk. A second witness corroborated Bobby's pattern of rolling Indians.
Wow.
Not our term, by the way. This is what they say. The defense attempted to put the killing on Leslie Eng again. Really? Yeah. They said, well, he's the backseat strangler over here. This guy, remember that? So, and they said Eng had a personal interest in framing Bobby.
Did he?
Also, that's what the defense said. The defense said, he's got interest in framing Bobby because he's the one strangling the guy.
Okay.
Verdict comes in. He's a guilty again.
Uh-huh.
Okay. By the way, death penalty on the table again here.
Uh-oh.
He says, Bobby speaks again. He says, quote, I ask you today, God, please don't kill me. I don't want to die. There was no damn excuse for what happened to him. That's what he tells Yeah, that's about right. Now you're getting it, stupid. He is sentenced to, I'll get the gavel out this time. You, sir, may fuck off life in prison to run consecutively to the death sentence.
After the death.
Yeah, we'll grab his corpse and bring him back in a cell and sit him there for another 40, 50 years. So if that ends up getting, taken away, he's still consecutive with life in prison. So he's fucked. Now, Harold Pollack, remember old Harley?
Yeah.
2004, he will have pleaded guilty at this point to being an accessory in 2004. That is because he refuses to testify against Bobby at the upcoming trial. He doesn't want to do it, even though he's supposed to, because he's an idiot.
Yeah.
He refuses to testify. This is the Eclectic trial of those two murders. He refuses to take the stand. So the prosecution reads his preliminary hearing statements into the record of the trial over the objections of the defense. This testimony here is the second one where, they're trying to chop his head off and all that kind of shit, okay? They heard, I saw Bobby on top of Joe wrestling with him. Bobby had his hands around Joe's throat, stood up, stepped on Joe's throat. He was wearing work boots. It was like chopping wood. We can do this. We can be each other's alibi.
Right.
And, of course, let's cut his head off, which is crazy. The state called other witnesses here, medical examiner. They called Larry Hudson, Bobby's friend, who testified to the knife collection, that he named the knives. He brags about violence. They called in witnesses that described that basically said that Bobby described the Eclectic murders to them exactly how they actually happened.
Yeah.
They brought him on. They said, what did Bobby tell you he did? And they would describe it, and they go, sounds like the record, doesn't it? Okay.
I've heard of that.
Bobby takes the stand this time. He described what he called, this is amazing, his theory of how these killings might have happened. He has a theory.
Yeah.
Yeah. He said that the prosecution argued that they were basically that It's just I'm only here because they've heard shit that I said.
Oh?
The prosecution said it was too close to reality to overlook it, basically.
Yeah.
Like the stories knew shit that only the killer knew. Wasn't publicly released. So they said his hypothetical of how the killings could have happened was so close to actual forensic record that it was like a soft confession.
Yeah, it did.
Because he gave while he talked to the cops, he gave a polygraph at one point, giving his theory, which was exactly what happened.
It was what happened.
It's just with different people doing it, but him.
What are you, Detective Tench? What are you doing?
Yeah, he knows. I'll tell you exactly how it went down.
Holden.
So the Holden, what's up, Holden? We're going to profile this guy. Now, the verdict comes in, 11 hours of deliberation.
Wow.
That's a lot.
Is it? That's pretty, that's 2 days, right?
That's a good amount.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah. Wouldn't take me 11 hours on this one, I don't think. So basically, Pollock's hearsay testimony was a problem for some jurors that they admitted his testimony. They said, our only real evidence is this guy who's not even here.
Right.
Like, it's a piece of paper. We can't even look at the guy in the eye and tell if he's lying or not.
Yeah.
But they come back and find him guilty. 2 counts of first-degree murder, plus larceny, tampering with evidence, and intimidation of a witness because he allegedly tried to scare a witness off cooperating with the original investigation.
Yeah.
He is sentenced to, you, sir, may fuck off again, 2 consecutive life sentences, consecutive to the death penalty and the other consecutive life sentence.
God, Jesus.
He's got hundreds of years and a death penalty now.
Are they going to keep doing more?
Oh, they're going to keep doing it. Plus the larceny and tampering and intimidation time all tacked on consecutively at the end there, too. Total sentences, 1 death sentence, 3 consecutive life sentences, plus various decades worth of shit for the other stuff.
That's a
literally like 300 years and a death penalty he's gotten. It's no possibility of parole no matter what, even if the death penalty is taken away. Christina Trecker, Matt's mom here, now I get it. She's pissed off. She said that she would this is a wild thing. She said that she would like to put the needle in his arm herself.
Really?
And then in the same breath said, but she's pro-life.
Yeah.
Those 2 things that cross, I never will understand at all. It's the weirdest thing in the world.
Yeah.
I don't get it, but that's fine. She said, I do think he got his just desserts for what he did to Matt. And she said, his mom. I totally understand what she's saying here. She said she doesn't like it. This is ridiculous, too. She doesn't like to think about him being wined and dined in prison. Have you seen what maximum security prison is?
She thinks that they get the final meal every day?
She watches a certain channel where they probably tell you constantly how easy the prisoners have it. They don't have it easy. It's shitty. The food's terrible. They have to pick bugs out of it. It's disgusting.
Wow.
The whole thing's terrible. He's not being wined and dined in prison. No, that's crazy, first of all. That's dumb. But
why would anybody think? She thinks he gets to his pick every day.
That's you hear tons of people saying that. Mostly old people will say that. These guys are in there living it up in prison. Really? Been to a prison? Stupid?
I've seen them make prison hooch and snort cocaine smuggled in somebody's asshole.
A guard's asshole.
Yeah.
A coke that came out of a man's asshole.
Imagine that's how you're living.
Now, okay. Look, I get that her son's been murdered and she's pissed off. I totally get that. I totally get her saying, I don't want him being in prison. I don't want to pay for him to eat anything. Yeah. I don't want to pay for him to eat slop. But to
his
say
family
wined
should have
and
to
dined.
feed him? I mean, what do you want?
Wined and dined.
Yeah.
I mean, that's, new cutlery, please. This place setting has got spots on it. You know what I mean?
It's got a lot of Silverado bottles on the wall. A lot of Camus.
When they come to the table, they're like white or red, and then they take the other glass away because they have a red glass and a white glass.
Let them have a taste.
They're different.
Yeah.
Swirl it a little bit. Yeah.
Make sure it's not vinegar.
She said, I just wish the death penalty they gave him for Betty Lee would be carried out and get it over with. Get this garbage off the face of planet Earth. Good. Like I said, totally get it. Yeah. Understand. Harold here, because he wouldn't testify.
Yeah.
He is sentenced to, you, sir, may fuck off, 2 life sentences.
Holy shit.
Yeah, he went to the cops, this fucking moron.
He fucked up.
He didn't have to do any of this shit. No. He's just an idiot. So that's crazy. Now, in jail, Leslie does some interviews. So does Bobby. We'll talk about the chicken. Now, here is an article from Emily, but spelled weird. Emile.
Yeah, that's a weird
Emily Carrick Sarusco. She has been apparently really working on this case. Here's a quote. Quote, I remember the day I first interviewed Leslie in the San Juan County Detention Center a few months after he confessed. Although I had seen him before in court appearances, we'd never met face to face. I sat waiting in an interview room that was completely filled by a large metal table and chairs. When the guards brought him in, unlocked his handcuffs, and left him there, I was amazed at the fear I didn't feel. He offered his hand for a limp handshake. He barely met my eyes. He sat, his shoulders slumped as if he was trying to take up as little room as possible. His hair was blonde, cut short, and he wore wire-rimmed glasses that gave him a bookish look. His jumpsuit was short-sleeved for summer, and as he sat down, I noticed the tattoos across his biceps. The demon tattoo across one arm gave my stomach its first nervous jump. His face showed little reaction to my presence, although his voice, nervous and hesitant, betrayed him as eager to please. He punctuated nearly every sentence with a high-pitched laugh. We talked about the first meeting, icebreaker type things, his favorite books, what did he do to pass the time in jail, his life before all this. I was surprised to learn that not only was he an avid reader of Nietzsche, his philosophy, but he was also a card-carrying member of Amnesty International and a passionate advocate for independence in Tibet. Those are all great things, but you can't kill a bunch of people first and then be like, hey, free Tibet, motherfucker.
Dude, why are you in love with
about?
this man?
She's very glowing. He told me how he spent much of his time helping his cellmates, leading Bible study sessions, helping the illiterate learn to read, and teaching them about their rights. He became known for firing off letters to the ACLU when the prison guards got out of hand, something that has made him a favorite target of the authorities. He said, when he was not helping others, Leslie was busy writing short stories and poetry, oftentimes using meditation or yoga in his jail cell as a way to get his creative juices flowing. We spent much of my first visit, speaking of flowing juices, Jesus, that's enough glowing shit here.
Take it easy, lady.
We spent much of my first visit discussing philosophical questions. What exactly is art? How could one succeed within society's definition of success while staying true to their art?
What?
Start a podcast. Works great. You can do whatever you want. If people follow it, awesome. If not, fuck it. Maybe Netflix will put you on. It's weird. That's how you do it.
Who are we? What does we mean?
Who am I? Who are we?
You're going to sit there with a murderer and have that conversation?
Well, he says this, quote, mainly I'm a poet.
No, mainly you're a murderer.
My poetry is really a piece of my soul. I write a lot of abstract and freelance poetry. Freelance, like he's going to be contracted to write.
Yeah.
Like they're going to say, hey, please.
Yeah.
There's a magazine. We really need some poems from this dipshit.
I've heard more about his murder or about his murders than his poems, so I'm going to say mainly he's a murderer.
He said, once you get the structure, you sacrifice the art. For me, I don't want the success if I have to go that way.
Yeah.
Success.
Yeah, I don't want commercial success.
I do things for the art. Yeah. I'm real free-spirited about a lot of things, which, of course, jail doesn't help a lot with. Said, when Leslie and I eventually spoke about Betty Lee and Donald Tosi, he was clear about what he perceived to be his responsibility. Quote, I don't like being in jail or anything. No one does, but I realize where I was wrong, and that's the price people pay. Oh. Okay. He also felt a certain pride in putting Bobby behind bars. He said, while he's able to explain his involvement in Betty Lee's death on a rational level, Leslie seems oblivious or obviously shaken when he talks about that night. He says, quote, I grabbed her legs when I was told to, and I looked for his knife. Leslie told me as he looked down and carefully inspected his hands, his voice barely above a mumble. I didn't look real hard for it because I just heard screaming, something that I won't wish on anyone to hear. It was real agonizing. Even worse was the stop to the screaming, because by then, especially after he stabbed her, she was running. He went to catch up with her. The screaming was just horrid. Hey. I wake up in cold sweats to this day. But even worse was the sudden stop to the screaming because there was no doubt what had happened. The article goes on to say, he stopped then and looked up for a second, but didn't meet my eyes. When it came to Donald Tosi, whose death was arguably equally brutal, Leslie showed little emotional reaction. He said, that one wasn't as hard to deal with because I didn't know he was dead until the cops asked me about it.
You didn't know? You threw him off a cliff.
After you strangled him and threw him off a cliff? Yeah. Jesus Christ. He treated him like a discarded Roadrunner accessory.
Yeah.
Just fall off the cliff and make a poof at the bottom. He said, I knew Bob had beaten him up. I guess I should have figured in some ways, but in other ways, I just figured he got beat up and walked away. Leslie said he only strangled Donald to keep them from getting in a car accident. He said he was restraining him so that he wouldn't fight Bobby while he was driving the car. He says he thinks about Betty and Donald every day. He's considered writing letters to their family to apologize, but decided that any contact from him might do more harm than good. Leslie goes on to say, I often wonder if Fry thinks about his deeds. He wrote in a letter to me, meaning to the reporter. I myself try not to, but can't escape my guilt. Sometimes I think how much easier life would be if I was a sociopath. Just kidding. LOL.
JK.
Yeah, what the fuck? San Juan County Sheriff Bob Melton was the lead investigator on Bobby and Leslie's case. He never believed Leslie's innocent act. Right. He said, quote, I don't buy that he was terrified of Bobby and feared for himself if he didn't do what he was told. I think he was into it.
Yeah.
I think I agree with that. He seemed to show some real fervor for it, some real aptitude as well. I think he's into it.
Actual gusto. Held the legs, for Christ's sake.
Yeah. They said Sheriff Melton stood out in San Juan County. He became a police officer because he wanted to help people. After years in law enforcement, he developed an intuitive sense about people that helped him cut through the stories and get to the truth. Sheriff Melton and I worked together often during my time at the Daily Times, and I came to respect his intelligence and compassion. Melton said about Leslie, quote, I can see a person being in the wrong place at the wrong time, but not twice and maybe more.
Right.
That's the truth. Right. When he initially strangles Donald, he is sitting directly behind him and has his belt at the ready. Sounds pretty planned to me.
Yeah.
Yeah. They also talked about the shit in his bedroom, saying his walls were plastered with pictures of blood and gore. And he said the room looked like it was inhabited by someone who reveled in, cherished, and revered violence. Right. That's crazy. Okay. They said quote, even for Melton, a seasoned law enforcement official, the sight sent chills down his spine. I try to picture this room in my mind. I try to picture Leslie, the Nietzsche reading, Amnesty International member, fellow prisoner teaching Leslie, selecting these images and carefully placing them on the walls of his inner sanctum, the place where he is who he is, and no one ever has to know. Who is the real Leslie? I came to believe that Leslie is no better than Bobby. In fact, with his ability to conjure up compassion, to imagine his way to sensitivity, he just might be a whole lot worse.
He just might be.
She started out that article with practically, in love with him. We're going to the homecoming dance.
Yeah.
And then at the end, she's like, he's worse than the other fucking guy. Fuck him.
I think he might be worse.
Yeah. Because you don't know, at least the other guy, you're getting a psychopath. Yeah. This guy, he can play, he's like Ted Bundy, this guy. He's playing the role. So here's a problem. Mm-hmm. The lawyer who represented Harold Pollack during Pollack's plea negotiations on the Eclectic charges was Randall Roberts, a Farmington attorney.
Yeah.
Randall Roberts was simultaneously representing Robert Fry on a different unrelated case at the time he was negotiating Pollack's plea against Robert Fry.
Why would he do that?
Because he's a fucking asshole, apparently. He wanted to make a few extra bucks. That's all I can imagine. I don't know. Allegedly. The same attorneys working both sides of this can't do that at all. Couldn't be more of a conflict of interest. Crazy. So also Sandra Price, the district attorney of San Juan County, knew about the conflict. Knew about it and was okay with this. The state's attorney general's office in the appellate briefing coming up conceded that she had known about it. So even the fucking office admitted she knew about it. And the AG's office characterized her conduct as having fallen short of the ideal, but argued that it didn't rise to the level of a conviction overturning violation.
Really?
By the way, Price would end up going on to win an election as a state district court judge and remains on the fucking bench.
Today.
This idiot. Yeah. This fucking idiot. Okay, great. By the way, I better hope I don't get pulled over in Farmington.
Yeah, don't go to.
End up
just
in front of her.
Just don't stand in Mexico. That's what I do. It's a bad place.
No problem. Easy. That's an easy one. Done and done.
It's a bad place. I swear it.
We're not going there for the show,
Fucking
so
ever.
that's never on our tour schedule. And I can't imagine going there just to see the sights.
Yeah,
So
if I ever had to drive to Oklahoma, I would certainly go around.
go up and around. So 2005, Bobby appeals to the state Supreme Court. Now, they unanimously affirm his conviction of first-degree murder, but the Chief Justice, Richard Bosson, dissented from the court's decision to uphold the death sentence. So it's still upheld, but he dissented. He said that he should have been remanded for a new sentencing hearing, contending that jurors weren't properly instructed on the legal standard needed for capital punishment in New Mexico.
Okay.
He said the new sentencing hearing was needed to make certain that the jurors understood that the intent to kill for the kidnapping aggravated circumstance was different than the intent necessary to convict him of felony murder.
Oh.
So there's a very fine line there. He said the jurors must be properly advised of those legal distinctions to ensure that the death penalty is imposed fairly and reserved for only the worst crimes. Okay. I agree with that. 2006, Bobby Fry speaks from prison.
Why?
He says, by the way, he's not guilty of any of these crimes.
Oh.
Even though he apologized during sentencing.
We got the wrong guy?
Yeah, the wrong guy. It's mistaken identity.
Shit.
There's another fat guy in a Misfit shirt walking
You got
around
so
this place
much work
with blood
to
all
do.
over him.
Square one.
Yep. He said, as far as for me being in prison for what I've been accused of, for what I've been convicted of, I still say I did not commit these crimes.
Here. A lady's blood was on your shirt in your bedroom.
Well, that's okay. He said that's fine because he's made peace with God now.
Okay,
so
good.
He said, quote, the hardest thing for me has been to ask for God's forgiveness.
Oh.
Well, yeah, that's
been
so hard
hard?
for anybody. So hard, obviously. Adding that he feels sorrow for the victims' families. He said, quote, do I feel sorry for the families of those who died? Yes, I do.
Good.
And I said so in court. And I told each family member, I'm sorry for your loss. And I was and still am. Okay. Now, Christina Trecker heard that, Matt's mom, and said, he's a liar who enjoys killing. I hope he rots in hell. He says he doesn't think that's going to happen because Fry says, quote, everybody's guilty of sin. Some have greater sins than others. He's
Hold
pulling this
on.
religious bullshit.
Yeah.
It's all the same. As long as you ask for forgiveness,
Okay.
jaywalking's the same as murder.
Oh.
That's his whole fucking, that's what he's
James,
saying.
I fucked a woman before we got married.
Well, same
It's
thing.
okay?
You might
It's the same
as
thing?
well cut her throat afterwards.
I should get a death
Ask God.
sentence.
Everybody's fine. God would have been cool with that.
Wait till he hears about the abortions.
Oh, man. He also says that he's come to terms with the rest of his life and what he faces. He says, people can like me, they can dislike me, they can hate me. In my life, I know there's some things that I've done wrong. I would say.
We're
Now,
all guilty of a little bit of sin.
everybody sins a little. Trecker's mother said, I'm suffering for the rest of my life. I've got every day to remind me. My son was a living, breathing human being who had a right to live. She said also she's going to write a book that will tell the real story of the Eclectic. She said she's searching for closure, and it's very difficult. She said Matthew was a good, loving kid and wouldn't do nothing to hurt anybody. Okay. And she also says she wishes there'd be more of a focus on the victims than on Fry. I hope we did it as well as we could there. 2009. Okay. The New Mexico state legislature votes to repeal the death penalty in New Mexico. Effective July 1st, 2009. But the repeal is prospective only. It's not regressive.
Okay,
So,
nothing retroactive.
nothing retroactive. Okay. So it's basically, if you're on death row,
We're going
you're
to kill
still
the
on death
remainder
row,
of them. Yeah.
but no more new ones on here. There's only 2 men on death row at this point. Robert Fry and talk about the. By the way, we've done this. We did his episode, I believe. I believe this was Flora Vista, New Mexico. Timothy Allen. Talk about the not as nearly as bad as. I feel terrible for this guy. He's got to have that asshole's name. Can you imagine?
Fucking loser's name.
I'd rather have a murderer's name than that hack. But anyway, so he's on death row for strangulation of Sandra Phillips, who was 17. I believe we did that episode 9 years ago.
Wow.
So legal findings based on this repeal, Robert Fry's lawyers file a bunch of motions arguing that prospective-only repeal is unconstitutional and they need to apply it retroactively. The district court denies all that shit. 2011, state Supreme Court, which, by the way, the New Mexico Supreme Court consists of 3 coyotes, 2 jackrabbits, Snoopy's brother, and a chunk of turquoise.
Yeah.
That's what sits up there. It's weird. The turquoise is the Chief Justice, too. That's the interesting
And
part.
the hair of Geronimo.
Well, that goes on the side. That's hanging on the wall behind them. So he appeals.
Yeah.
They hear his arguments. That confrontation argument was the serious one about the attorney thing here. The Sixth Amendment guarantees a defendant the right to confront his accusers.
Sure.
Pollock didn't take the stand, but they read his statements in.
Mm-hmm.
Also, the conflict of interest argument. All that type of shit. So basically, the New Mexico Supreme Court said, nah, you're good. Death row
Stick
for you.
around.
Stick around. By the way, this prison sucks, too. It had a huge 1980 riot that's very famous, and it's a mess. They've really beefed up security by 2002 when he's there. It's bad shit. Now, Leslie in prison, he wrote letters from prison to the victims' families begging for forgiveness before deciding that he was doing more harm than good and stopped.
Yeah, you can't do that.
You can't do that. But some people do that, and they love it. I'm telling you, I listened to shit in the Corey Richins sentencing where multiple people said they became close and tight with the people that killed their family members and tried to get them out of prison because they reformed themselves. It happens all the time.
What?
It's crazy as fuck. You didn't watch that sentencing. You're out of your mind. You got to watch that sentencing.
But the victims have to invite the conversation, right? You can't just...
No. Sometimes they just write letters saying they apologize, and then they think about it, and some people go, oh, man, well, you know, if they're really reforming, let me see if they're really trying, and then they write something back, and who knows? It happens. I wouldn't do it personally. Don't get me wrong.
I mean, you're telling me Ted Bundy could have written the families of those girls from Florida State?
Yeah, if he wanted to. You can write any letter you want to anybody. Unless there's an active restraining order against you, you can write a letter to anybody.
That's so sick.
That you want. Yeah. And some people, like I said, some people want it. I think it's crazy, but that's some people want.
Wow.
By the way, profilers that looked at him also think that he might have multiple personalities, Leslie Yang. We're not sure. Yeah. He's currently inmate 419862 in the New Mexico Department of Corrections. MSNBC did a documentary segment, including an in-cell interview with Robert on camera in his prison clothes, holding a Bible. All he talked about was God, and there's nothing he'd done that God didn't forgive him for, didn't apologize, just said that God told me I'm good. So 2013, Christina Trecker writes a letter to the editor that is just scathing. Basically, this is who my son was that you don't really care about, essentially, people out there. So, yeah, it's pretty long. Otherwise, I'd read it right now, the whole thing. But either way, she says, thanks to the McCormick Elementary School, I still have pictures of him as he grew, basically.
Oh yeah, you get one every year.
You get one every year because Fry cut, the picture taken short. They also say that Alex was. They talk about another guy, the owner of the store. Yeah, it's very interesting. It's actually an interesting letter to the editor, but never mind. June 2019. Okay, Bobby's still on death row. Okay, there's tons of challenges. They don't have the drugs to do it anymore. Right. It's a mess. So. This is when he found Jesus. He's walking around with a Bible, telling everybody that he's always holding a Bible. This is a prop for him that he can. Sure. If anybody ever holds a Bible up to show you how good they are, it means they're a fucking liar, and
they're a murderer.
You should shoot that Bible out of his hand like Blazing Saddles. He's full of shit. Yeah. So New Mexico Supreme Court there. By the way, in the last half century, they have only carried out one execution. Terry
50
Clark
years?
was his name. 50 years, who was sentenced to death for kidnapping, raping, and murdering a 9-year-old girl. He fucking earned it. He abducted her, took her to her brother's ranch where he tortured and raped her and shot her in the head, a 9-year-old. And her body was discovered in a shallow grave. Jesus Christ. So anyway, there's all these appeals here. There's Fry, and then there is the other guy, Timothy Allen. They're both the two guys on death row. So they go over the whole thing here, and they said that there's no meaningful distinction justifying their continued isolation as the only two scheduled for execution. So the court vacates both their death sentences and resentences both of them to life in prison.
Commutes them.
But, I mean, now he's got 4 consecutive life sentences. He ain't getting out. Yeah, he's totally fucked here. Under New Mexico's math, though, basically, The math takes him out to 165 years before he could get parole. Even go for a meeting.
There's a chance.
There's a chance.
Yeah.
For Tim Allen, though, life meant an additional 25 years tacked on to his existing sentence.
Yeah.
And so he would have to serve 55 years before beginning parole, which could actually happen.
Wow.
That's crazy.
What did he do? Just murdered somebody that...
Yeah, he
in a card game or something?
murdered like a 17-year-old, I believe. No, a woman. It was horrible. I think it's Flora Vista. I wanted to say it's episode 82 of Small Town Murder. Bobby in prison. He's at the Penitentiary of New Mexico in Santa Fe, number 56859, maximum security wing. He's at 165 years. Leslie Eng here has 25 years tacked on to his sentence, consistent with the Allen treatment, because he too has been involved in the cases. So he'll be in prison till at least his late 70s. Leslie Eng. The Eclectic is closed down. The building's still there, and people show up and do YouTube, shots of the outside of the fucking joint there. Joseph Fleming was buried at the Green Lawn Cemetery in Farmington. Matthew Trecker's buried near him in the same cemetery there. Donald Tosey's family said they did a Navajo ceremony, this quiet, private, religious, cultural thing. And I don't know where Betty Lee ended up, but I'm sure they took her and put her somewhere respectfully.
Maybe in Shiprock. It's fucking cold there, man.
So in the media, this was a Forensic Files episode, season 10, episode 20, 4 on the Floor.
Wow.
And also the book Monster Slayer by Robert Scott. Okay. So there you go. That's Farmington, New Mexico, everybody. What a fucking mess of a town and an awful story. If you enjoyed that story, well, you're sick fuck, and we love you for it. Thank you. And also, please give us a review on whatever app you're listening on, or thumbs up on Netflix. All that shit helps tremendously. Follow us on social media. We are at Small Town Murder on Instagram, at Small Town Pod on Facebook. Yeah. ShutUpAndGiveMeMurder.com is where you get all of your tickets. Come see us for a live show. Also, merchandise, everything from coffee mugs to skateboards. Come see us. Royal Oak is sold out, but we have Minneapolis and Milwaukee. Right. Milwaukee, September 18th. Minneapolis, September 19th. Right. Those Milwaukee tickets are getting low.
Very
Grab
slim.
those tickets if you want them. Yeah. Minnesota, get your shit together and start buying some more tickets there. Dallas, you going to let Milwaukee embarrass you? Give me a break. Dallas on October 3rd, San Jose on the 16th, 17th of October, Sacramento, and then November 13th and 14th, Terrytown and Boston. ShutUpAndGiveMeMurder.com. Patreon.com/CrimeInSports is where you get all the bonus material. Anybody $5 a month or above, you get everything we put out, including, as soon as you subscribe, hundreds of back bonus episodes, almost 400 of them you get immediately to binge. New ones every other week. One Crime and Sports, one Small Town Murder. You get them all. This week, Crime and Sports, Christian Power Team. Bend a rebar and go, thank you, Jesus, after you've done a bunch of steroids, and the leader of the thing ended up getting in trouble for some stuff. We'll talk all about it. Small Town Murder, Internet Salad, everything that's going on in the world, that, as long as it doesn't have anything to do with politics. Not that we don't care, but we feel like you get enough of that. And we're just going to give you a lighthearted hour to chill out and relax. Patreon.com/CrimeInSports. And you get every damn show we do. Crime in Sports, Your Stupid Opinions, Small Town Murder, both shows, all ad-free with that Patreon. And you get a shout out. Jimmy, hit me with the names of the most wonderful, fabulous, fantastic people who would never, ever strangle us and leave us in a desert to die. Hit me with them right now.
This was executive producers are Elena Zemmel, my favorite Canadian. Frank LaCroix, my God, sir, what a story.
Frank, that was a wild story, Frank. Thanks, brother.
You're
we'll
amazing,
get back to you.
Frank.
We got to talk to you, Frank.
Jesus.
You got quite the tale. Thank you.
Yeah. Gary Howard is in High Point. I think that's North Carolina. Dylan Carico and Beth Bew.
Oh, thanks for the
Thank
bowl
you all
too,
so
Gary.
much. You're amazing. Other producers this week are Brendan Abels, Liz Vasquez, Scott
Brendan,
Richard,
I love that kid.
Penny Boyce, Happy Hour checking in Splendora, Texas.
Some of
Janice
our favorites
Hill,
this week.
Nathan Rose, Monsanja, happy birthday.
Happy birthday. These are like a lot of our old school favorites this week.
It's a bunch of people that jumped onto PayPal this week. Thank you all
Thank you,
so
guys.
much. Other producers this week, Olivia Colwell, and then also another Olivia. I don't know if they're related. It's possible. Chloe Miller, Rain Ellery, William Inskeep. He's been around for a while. He may have just gotten right back into Patreon.
Cool.
Deanna
Thank
with
you.
no last name. Ashley Carrie, Matt Schertzer, Anna Pinero, Tony Bauer, Melissa Gerber, Lindsay Cook, Kiki with no last name, Boogie in your butt. Or don't. I wish you didn't. Marissa W.
Please don't.
Kristen Elric. Michael with no last name. Dustin Grace. D'Angela Warren or D'Angela. I don't know. There wasn't an apostrophe. Tina Radon Checkets. Jay Nutt. Michelle Davis. Kara Butcher. Butcher probably. Jeanette with no last name. Leanne French. Nicole Smith. Anna's daughter, I imagine. Kelsey Jones.
Yeah, sure.
John Archer, Aaron Maxon, Julie Parrish, Ram with no last name, John Finnegan, Heather Page, Samara, Jenkins, probably Samara, right? Freddie Smith, Brian Dees or DS, I don't know, Jonathan Graves, Maddie Hall, Larry Baker Jr., Scott McDonald, Dustin Chenault, Karen Shoemaker, Danny with no last name, Ashley Marks, Alec Haddad, Denise Dage, or Day, D-A-I-G-H, that's Days usually. Sandy Pocock, Ingrid Meyer maybe. Kyla with no last name. Terry with no last name. Lauren with no last name. Sam Fenster, Lori Sullivan, Elizabeth Heitner, Eileen Schilling, Melissa Hernandez, KK, Sarah with no last name. No with no last name. Please, no. Haley Yee, Jackson Baxterson, Zach with no last name, Joey Matthew, Heather Pates, Michael Penland, Trevor Wood, Shane Philbin, Patrick Haggerty, Alan Kress, Lil Pumpkinhead, whatever that means. Sarah Black, Jessica Roberson. What is it?
Tiny and orange. It's self-explanatory.
Yeah, that's what it is. Neil, I imagine. Niall. Is that Neil Gatton? Niall? Or is that
Nail?
I-A?
Or Neal.
That's Neil, right? I don't know.
Yeah.
It's got
or Neal.
Foreign. Foreign from America. Anne McGee. Yeah. That's probably a British person going, foreign, my ass. Bollocks. Yeah. Joanne Saga, Burkhart with no last name. Melkos AZ. I don't know what that means. Vanessa O'Connor, Beth Churchill, Nigel Hannon, Camby with no last name, Byron Ma, Rhett Reed, Tyler Libby, Kitney Sharaya, Kelsey Czech, like the Czech Republic, Jolene Navin, Cindy Gamble, R. This show brought to you by the letter R. Brian Crawford, Hannah Marie Mayer, Pluto with no last name, Kristen Hawks. Nope, that's Christopher. Holy fuck. 2 different people. Jen with no last name, Emily Boyke, Nick, what is this? Razuski, Lisa Vitt, Alec Wakefield, Moosker with no last name, Beth Goodhue, Adam Hosteller. Hotsteller. Joss or Jose with no last name. Stephanie P. Olivia Rodriguez. Cody Dilly. Jesse Fowler. Kirsten Burke. Chris Carpenter. Zachary McCune. Zachy Ataki. HHR. Zenair with no last name. McLovin with no last name. Becca with no last name. Jake Lee. Jordan Payanta. Sonia Fiddler. Yep, Feidler probably. Melinda Wheelless. And Aubrey Shipman, and all of our patrons. You guys are the best. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, everybody. Yeah. Thank you, you fantastic bastards. We appreciate every goddamn thing you do for us. Thank you. If you want to follow us on social media, head over to shutupandgivememurder.com. Drop down. There's menus that take you everywhere to social media. By the way, all new, too. We just redid the site.
All new.
Check all that out.
Brand new.
Get some tickets while you're there. Hang out with us.
And only go there. Stop going to third-party shits.
You don't do that.
We don't. No, don't.
Yeah,
we don't
do
charge $800 for a ticket to see our show. That's fucking insane.
Any of our shit, shirts, all that, get it at
go to our website.
That site, and it will be a decent price. So thank you for hanging out with us. Keep coming back and seeing us. And until next week, everybody, it's been our pleasure.
Bye.